Hokage. My Nine Tails, Infinite Resurrection. Chapter 81. Steam Engine, as a product of the study of large snake pills and scorpions. Was asked by Qingling to stay, and with the transformation of science and technology, people seem to find more convenience. Compared to the more complex and exquisite martial arts ninja tools, and the extremely concentrated elixir. What really needs to be paid attention to is how to use it. It is clear that large roads, steam trains, and various factories that rely on steam are popping up. It's just that they don't rely on coal. Rather, chakra. As an inexhaustible source of energy in this world. The so-called steam engine is actually based on the core made by the scorpion, and the energy is divided in 3 equal parts according to the guidance of the Qingling Immortal technique with the Qingling Immortal text. Introduced into the steam engine, vapor is generated due to the pressure of the fairy chakra, which bursts out natural energy when used. Qingling Ninja Village is advancing at a pace that transcends the times. Just like this chakra steam train, if you go too slowly, you are likely to be completely left behind. Hitaka and Hotaru, the villagers of the village, looked at the trees along the way in amazement. They saw orchards, they saw wheat fields, they saw livestock farms and farms. See the factories that run on chakra steam engines, and the teenagers who run non-stop in this era. Master, Qingling Ninja Village, it's really strange. Little Hotaru couldn't hide the joy in her heart. The abundance here had long surpassed any village they had ever seen. The so-called 5 major ninja villages are only larger in scale, and compared to the richness and beauty of Qingling Ninja Village, it is simply not worth mentioning. The sun is leaving. Sasuke leaned against the window, and Deidara, beside him, was chattering about new formulas. He vowed to fuse all kinds of chakras into the blood succession limit, and then fuse a new super blood succession elimination, so that his future perfect explosion will bloom the most beautiful fireworks in this world. You say, will the sun also be a thing that will explode at any time, and if such a power breaks out, how strong it should be? Deidara said excitedly. Looking at the sun is like gazing at the masterpiece of the universe. The train stops at the terminus of Searing Shinobi Village. The men hurried off the train and followed Sasuke to a pickup spot. Write your name, how many members of your family will be registered according to your family name, and in which country and what village you have been in. What will happen, the age of oneself and one's family, illness, or biological discomfort. The staff took out a wad of paper but didn't hand it out, as if he was waiting for something. I can't write names, don't you have to be the heirs of the ninja family and the daimyo to be eligible? It's hard to imagine that these people don't even have access to books in their entire lives. They were in a hurry, and some even retreated. I can only farm, do I have to be driven away? My children often have red marks on their skin. Ah, I say this, am I going to be driven away? People looked at the truth-telling man with nervous eyes and thought, he's definitely done. Can farm. Can people's land still be planted for you for nothing? The people in the farms seen on the train, although they were all working clothes, but they were all decent, not even patched, and they were definitely not the same kind of people as them. When the child saw his honest father in a hurry, he cried worriedly, "Don't drive away my father, don't drive us away." Quote. See this scene. The staff frowned as usual, and a distressed look appeared in their eyes. But soon I quickly began to write, and I wrote quickly. Don't worry, I was originally a middle ninja from the sand-hidden village in the land of wind, and now I am a reserve ninja here, working while cultivating. You can just say what you want, and we will arrange it. Quote. He used as gentle a manner as possible to bring them back to their cool. People spoke suspiciously. The sun is fading, like an ancient monarch bidding farewell to his territory. These people are arranged in a new community, according to the size of their respective population, to different residences. Adults receive vocational training, and when they become familiar with it, they can get jobs according to their respective strengths. But until then, the disease will be treated. As for going to elementary school at the Ninja Academy, this word, they have never heard of it. The center of the Lingnan village. Under the tree that gives hope to all. Hitaka and Hotaru stood here apprehensively. Following Sasuke, Deidara went to the underground chamber. Qingling Sensei has fallen into a deep sleep, and he said that everything is at a critical juncture, but he will provide some of the chakra for us to use in advance. This girl named Hotaru. You need to break through the cocoon and respawn with the six-tailed man Zuli Utaka, because your forbidden technique may take a long time. Naruto said seriously. He rarely took it so seriously, and when he saw his expression, Sasuke understood the seriousness of the matter. Lord Raiying, are you there? Deidara yelled at Sasuke's stomach. I'm just a doppelganger, the body is experiencing a huge chakra consumption, and when the time comes, we will also help him, and at that time, which means the real crisis. The blue spirit Nine Tails, who was hidden deep in Sasuke's body, said. Oh, Lord Lingying will definitely be fine, he said he would teach me the nuclear escape. Deidara's eyes were filled with adoration. When I thought of the scene depicted by Qingling, I couldn't help but want to try my skills. Let's start first, I'm already feeling hostility. Sasuke could sense several strong chakra fluctuations outside the village, harboring a strong sense of hostility. The teacher said that it should be all the members of the Shao organization who came, including your brother, and this knife was specially created for you by the big snake pill and scorpion. Naruto said. Oh. Sasuke understood that Naruto was extremely optimistic in normal times, and being nervous to this point was enough to prove that Qingling's affairs were far more serious than he said. He took the delicate and perfect chakra long knife. Hataka, Hotaru reluctantly walked into Shinto's belly. Here they also saw the Yagi Great Serpent. Unlike the six-tailed ones that seven-tailed man Pillar Li Feng saw, it was less than 10 minutes before Kaide walked out of here. The Great Serpent of Yagi is already giving birth to the seventh tail and the seventh head. There are 9-tailed, 1-tailed, 4-tailed, 5-tailed, 7-tailed breaths here, and I feel that they are all in the village at the same time, so it is safe here and you can definitely leave. The six-tailed rhinoceros said seriously. He could feel that the Qingling 9 tails were not the 9 llamas, but the tailed beasts in the village were sending him a message of safety. Master, when I wake up, let's go see the stars together. Hotaru smiled cutely. Hataka didn't answer, just nodded slightly. Sunset moonrise. When the moon hangs high. Hataka, who awakens from Shinto's body, senses the battle outside the village. He glanced back and saw that Hotaru was still healing. New 10 tails outside. Deidara is rubbing clay. Sasuke held the long knife at his waist, glanced at him, and turned his head and walked towards the outside of the village. There, the battle has begun. Is death and wandering just meaningless human wandering for you? Hataka's cold words made Sasuke directly pull out the knife. What are you talking about? We can die, but we will never drift. Under our feet is the Qingling Ninja Village, the country of spirits, and the place where those poor people who have no fixed place to live are sheltered from the rain. Sasuke slashed out. This specially created long knife that combined the scientific and technological achievements of the Great Snake Pill and the Scorpion was obviously pregnant with a power far beyond ordinary martial arts ninja tools. The Qingling named it the Qingling Blade. For Sasuke, this knife is the bond between the green spirit and him. Under the moonlight, he slashed through the enemy's attack with one sword and stood in front of Uchiha Itachi. When the kaleidoscope writing wheel eye meets the kaleidoscope writing wheel eye. Itachi's eyes are full of approval. It's so good, the cute brother finally has his own future. It turns out that people cannot move forward according to the so-called destiny, Sas gives. What are you talking about? I know the truth of everything, but let me forgive you, unless. Sasuke didn't know how to speak. He quickly dodged the weapon attack of the Asura Dao next to him. The human Dao instantly appeared behind him, trying to attack his soul. My teacher told everything about you, but so what? He is now uncertain about his life and death because of your fault. Sasuke didn't know the truth. After all, Qingling had already told him, but the price was too expensive, and he really couldn't afford it. That is, the dead Uchiha family, including the relatives killed by Uchiha Itachi, the girl who died in the moon reading will be resurrected. What about the cost? Has anyone thought about that fox, he restores everything, naive like a child. The price was his life. Sasuke quickly stretched out Chakra's hand behind him, and the 9 tails grabbed the human path. The hungry ghost road immediately appeared to devour the 9-tailed chakra. Unforgivable, you guys who think you're carrying all the people on your back, but let those really fool guys live high, why? Only my Qingling teacher, alone and witnessing miracles, lost his own life. Quote. Sasuke incarnated in the 9 Lamas mode, He did not have Naruto's talent for fairy arts, but he was enough to surpass ordinary people. At this moment, it absorbs the energy from nature and fuses the chakra in a 1-to-1 ratio. The huge chakra and his anger polished the skills he had honed for so long to perfection. The Nine Tails stood up, he was inside the Nine Tails, and the Nine Tails were draped in Susanoo's armor. The wings also unfolded, and Sasuke held the long knife at the same time. Susanoo also holds a long knife. Cut through all the sins and knights. At this moment, the Nine Tails, who were wearing Susanoo armor, stood tall. Sasuke also looked at Pain 6 with cold eyes. Leave it to me here, you have your own enemy. Naruto appeared beside him with his arms folded, his mutated white eyes already changing pupils. Nine Lamas Immortal Mode. Naruto was hidden in the body of the Nine Lamas, and Nine Tails extended under the chakra trench coat he was wearing, not only fox ears, but also his own nine tails. This is the model of the immortals of the Nine Lamas that he further extended. The moment the two martial arts ninja appeared here, even Nagato did not realize the danger of the matter. I can only defeat you and see off the teacher. Martial arts, Immortal Jade Spiral Pill, Air Rain. While the huge immortal Nine Lamas rubbed the two huge spiral pills in his hands, the Nine Tails behind him were also condensing the spiral pills separately. This contains the power of Immortal Chakra, Nine-Tailed Chakra, and Naruto Chakra. At this moment only belongs to Martial Dao Chakra. Tailed Beast Jade. 11 Super Immortal Jade Spiral Pills plus Tailed Beast Jade. Naruto transformed into a super cannon that was enough to bombard all over the ninja world, pointing where to hit. Ridius, do you really think that this kind of bluffing thing will have power? Pain Tiandao made a move, just about to use Shinra Tianzhong, a super immortal jade spiral pill that was half the size of a village smashed, and the sound of fragmentation sounded, and even the hungry ghost Dao that absorbed chakra could not eat it. Hell Dao summoned the gates of hell and quickly resurrected heavenly Dao Pain. Right at this very moment. Zilai Yi of the immortal mode, with two-toed immortals standing on his shoulders, a spiral pill, sent it directly to the sky. Go and die, scum. Tsunade, who had a yin seal on his eyebrows, directly punched the beast Dao with strange power, and it was a painful kick to reflexively. It's terrible, someone is blocking my immortality, it seems that I am still a disciple of Zilai. The big snake pill glanced at Xiao Nan and the missing heavenly Dao Pain who had just banged, and spit out hundreds of flying swords in his tongue, directly knocking the weapons of the Asura Dao into the air, piercing his 100 swords through his heart. Do you want to take away the puppet's soul? Perhaps, you can make a memory for him. Quote. The 3 generations of the Scorpion's Wind Shadow puppets and dozens of battle puppets, all transformed by martial arts ninja tools, surrounded the human Dao group that can seize people's souls and memories. Do you like to eat chakra? Then you have to have absolute speed. Kakashi stood up from behind the hungry ghost, the knife in his hand already sheathed. The peerless learning of the Kimu family, the sword art inherited by his father White Fang, was finally perfectly reproduced under the martial arts. An explosion sounded. The chakra dragon roared and killed Naruto, trying to take his soul. Sand, is there a soul? The overwhelming flying sand fell directly on the chakra dragon like a large net. Sand coffin. Kaide seemed like a normal person among these monsters. 1 tail, 6 tails, 7 tails, 9 tails are all here. The foam in the distance is full of sky, constantly chasing Xiaonan. She also hurriedly chased after him, not giving him any leeway. Is it inevitable to fight here? Old Z's voice appeared, followed by the figure of the 4-tailed Sun Wukong. I'm interested in steam engines, and if I finish this fight, I can choose to become a steam engineer. While steaming hot, Han transformed into King Mu. 4 tails, 5 tails go to war. After the bombardment of the transcendent spiral pill one by one, the tailed beast Jade came one after another. Nagato, who originally thought that he was 100% suppressed, never expected that he would not even use the Earth Explosion Star, and the 6 Pain would be destroyed. Just when he was hiding deep in the shadows and decided to show up in person. Xiao Nan has been eliminated by Kaide, Yutaka, and Luo Sha. Fortunately, Xiao Nan, who fought with everyone, was just a paper doppelganger. The real she is actually guarding Nagato's side. But this battle still far exceeded everyone's expectations. The absolute body is trapped by the flying segment, and there is soil to add oil and vinegar to the side. The dried persimmon Oni escaped from the water and watched Itachi and Sasuke confront Susanoo with Susanoo. Rokudao Pain and Xiaonan on the bright side are dead. He suddenly felt a feeling as if reality had collapsed. Look at these people. Fight one by one to amplify the moves and play the same, are you sure, or ninja? Don't you all need to be stamped? There are only 5 people left in the Shao organization, but they have to fight against the 6-tailed orc pillar force, Konoha Sanshin, Kiki Kakashi, half of the former teammates of the Shao organization, and the 4th generation of Mechazekage. Just ask. Is this in line with the basic laws of chakra? Unlimited monthly reading. The dried persimmon ghost mackerel now feels like he has been hit by illusion in his eyes. Ningji and the reserve ninjas used Tuden together, and Mudun maintained the outer layer of this battlefield. Seeing those ninjutsu that surpassed humans, he did not have the slightest loss. On the contrary, there is a feeling of happiness, because he will eventually become a member of the monster. The wave feng shui gate walked past him and turned into a flash of light. Only stay. People who want to be gods. The moon is picturesque, outlining the 9 heavens above and under the shadows. When the winds of despair blow away in the height of summer. Swords and swords, unveiling the old days. The teenagers chasing God stood in place in amazement, at a loss. 6-tailed beasts and human pillar forces. Scorpion, Deidara, Flying Segment, Obito. Jiraiya, Orochimaru, Tsunade. Kakashi, Rasha, I love RO. One by one, the figures stood under this moon, and with these forces, they were enough to invade the entire ninja world overnight. However, everything freezes here. Sasuke, I'm going to disappear. Under Susanoo, the huge chakra figure of the 9 tails slowly disappeared. Teacher Qingling. Sasuke pulled out his sword, and Susanoo was completely physical. Even if he lifted his pretense, he was still infinitely close to the peak of the ninja realm. At this moment, the hatred in my heart rose again, and the power of the kaleidoscope chakra I continued to increase. Already reached the limit. Such words. I don't understand at all. Children, one day, the flames will burn this vast grassland again, and I will reappear in that moment. When I leave, the daimyo will be afraid that you will reunite again, so he will build you a humble house. When I leave, the daimyo will stand on the other side of the sea, seemingly welcoming but actually weakening you. When I leave, this world is only a flower withered, but there is always a will, blooming in the hearts of those who wake up first. Quote. Seeds are dimming at this moment. Ju Shinai, Bofeng Shuaman also sensed that the 9-tailed chakra in the body disappeared, recondensed into a seed, and stood there quietly. Naruto, don't be afraid, with your current strength, even if you don't have a teacher, you can still defeat the enemy, martial arts ninja, but beyond the existence of the version. Naruto was stunned in place. He had sensed the real hiding place of Nagato and Konan, but at the moment, he didn't want to move at all. Has the terrifying power disappeared? The dried persimmon ghost mackerel couldn't believe that the green spirit that was strong enough to make at least 4 people tail beasts at the same time would also have a moment of weakness. He never wanted to ask the world for anything. Uchiha felt Qingling's unique will. In the village, even in various parts of the spirit country, people felt that the chakra seeds in their bodies were exuding some kind of compassion, and they couldn't help but feel sad. Soon, even the chakra from the green spirit disappeared from the body, but fortunately, they themselves tempered their bodies and contained a part of the chakra in the meridians. In addition, there is chakra from the 10 tails, that is, the school of Kagaya Itsuki, so it can also be unharmed. It's just that. The bottom of my heart is empty. Little Jiraiya, the pure natural energy in the air is reduced. The old woman toad stood on Jiraiya's shoulder and said with a sad expression. Then as long as the fox that brings burlesque to the world, mocks the world, and slaughters the gods, will he die before the prophecy. The little old man of the toad couldn't help but feel sad. Since he didn't want to say anything, he couldn't feel the chakra seed in his body. After repeated temptations before, he observed that it was nothing more than his good impression of Qingling. I finally recognized a guy who could change the ninja world together. How did he disappear like this? At last. Disappearing or the eyes scattered on the sculptures scattered in the village, the spirit country. Deidara and Scorpion were saddened to see this scene. You said you would teach me Nucleus. Deidara muttered. The nuclei are silent, the seeds are withered. The scorpion looked outer. His parents were fortifying the battlefield, still alive. He won't die, he won't die. This guy has countless whole cards. He is a true god. He is the best specimen of eternal life and immortality. How can such a guy die? The big snake pill became more and more crazy, and in his opinion, the green spirit had completely entered a state of transformation. Once the metamorphosis is complete, it will only become more powerful. Yes, how could the teacher die so easily? She can bring the dead back to life. A light appeared in Naruto's eyes. He no longer had a nine-tailed chakra on his body, but his eyes gradually turned into fox pupils. Immortal chakra poured into the body, and nine tails once again spawned behind him, and fox ears also appeared. This is the real Qingling immortal mode. Naruto, wearing a cloak, looked at Sasuke within Susanoo. I love Luo, Lao Zi, Han, Yu Gao, and Maple Luo in a row. The five-tailed beasts joined forces with them. Never believe that the teacher died like this, and let these enemies remember his name and will forever until he returns again. The chakra on Naruto kept erupting. The chakra condensed into liquid in the chakra dantian burns continuously. 8 doors of Dunja, the 7th door, the door is open. Qingling Immortal Mode plus 8 doors Dunja. The powerful explosive power of physical arts, coupled with the moves of ninjutsu, combines absolute strength and chi, form and spirit, and integrates the ultimate technique on top of the explosion, which is to turn the impossible into a possible martial art. The ultimate martial arts technique. Naruto turned into a cloak that blended orange and blue. Nine-tailed dome cannon. He himself turned into a cannon, and the air cannon of the day tiger combined with the spiral pill, and he turned into a speeding nine-tailed. The nine-tails' mouth had a huge fairy spiral pill. This is a martial art that is enough to destroy the decay once touched. Is this chakra martial arts? As a tailless-tailed beast, the dried persimmon ghost mackerel faced the five-tailed orc pillar forces in its own muscle fusion form, which was simply a fool's dream. Absolutely trapped by the double god power with soil, and there is a flying section that constantly abuses himself. It's so powerful, the great evil god lord has entered a deep sleep, this will be a new awakening. Fei Duan said while stabbing himself. He wanted to escape with his ephemera technique, but was distorted by the divine power of the soil, and could not directly connect with the earth, flowers and trees. Just worship that stupid fox, why don't you cut me? Absolutely cursed, Fei Duan was sacrificing, but it was he who was injured. The light of the sword flashed across the sky. Itachi was seriously ill and unable to turn on Susanoo's true complete state, and barely blocked the blade's attack with the Hachi mirror. Can't you cut it? What is your weapon called? Sasuke looked at Itachi's Susanoo. 10-fist sword. As soon as the weasel's words fell, a sword was cut out, and the 10-fist sword that extended infinitely split instantly. Sasuke blocked with 2 knives, his gaze fierce. Now that he knows the truth. Then he also has to prove to Itachi that it is better to protect the honor of the Uchiha clan and protect Konoha. There is not only one way to follow orders and destroy the Uchiha clan. Sasuke wants to break new ground. My stupid Obini, how can there be hope in the hatred in your eyes? As Itachi spoke, he directly lifted Susanoo, turned into a flock of crows, and flew directly towards Sasuke. Mountain back. In the large tree cave, Nagato, who was sheltering here, consumed a large amount of chakra, moved forward with his hands, and he was ready to meet Naruto's powerful blow. Swish. Naruto, who destroyed all the trees and obstacles along the way, is about to kill Nagato. Nagato. Conan's speed didn't know if the speed of that move could surpass Naruto's speed. Earthburst Sky Star. Earthburst Stars. Naruto's body was quickly gathered, and the moment he was killed, he floated in midair and hit his body one by one. The teenager was unwilling to be bound like this. Strength, Teacher Qingling said, there are still many unused powers in my body, why should you stop it? In the forest, grass and trees grow rapidly. Turning into vines, giant trees bind Nagato. At the same time, boulders, one after another, continued to hit Naruto's body, and he felt unprecedented pain, and he could also detect his increasingly weak breathing. It's just that at this moment, his extreme speed is bound by gravity. And more power. Qingling's voice appeared in his ears. The art of yin turns your spirit into reality, and your ideas become the will of others. The art of yang escape, turning decay into magic. Between heaven and earth, there is no end to life. The powerful willpower erupted at this moment, and the unparalleled vitality also bloomed from the whirlpool and the power of the wave-wind family. Only by being unyielding and resisting all forces can I turn into the will of martial arts, my will with the art of yin escape, and my life with the art of yang. No longer abandon the basics: wind, fire, thunder, earth, water, wood or all means. Unity is the path of martial arts. 8 doors open. Dead door. Quote. This time, the chakra in the chakra dantian surged wildly, bursting out with unprecedented power, destroying the decay and witnessing the emaciation of an era. At the same time, the strong martial will in life is the support allowed him to stand between heaven and earth every moment. The 9-tailed chakra reappeared and burst out from above. Rumble. The earth explodes with stars. What are you afraid of? Martial will. 8 doors open. Break it for me. At the same time as Naruto's flying kick, the fairy jade spiral pill in his hand grew larger and larger, until it exceeded the size of the Earth explosion star just now. This behemoth also had a name that Naruto couldn't understand. A familiar voice echoed in his ears, as if he was there at the moment. Teacher Qingling, what is this trick called? This head and momentum are called Gaia energy cannons. Qingling fairy technique, spiral pill, Gaia energy cannon. Rumble. This time, Nagato could no longer avoid it, Mudun bound it, and Naruto's extreme speed were all methods for his mortality. Nagato. Conan's attempt to detonate numerous detonation charms causes Nagato to escape. However, at this moment, even Shinra Tianzhong and Vientiane Tianzhong did not have time to let him take refuge. This is the ultimate power of the martial arts man, the transcendent version of Chakra Reserve, after opening the 8th gate of the 8 doors of Dunja and the door of death. Rumble. When the Gaia energy cannon covered the earth, Naruto smashed down with both hands. All the bells and whistles seem insignificant in the face of absolute power. Meanwhile, from the center where the Gaia energy cannon landed, the shock wave killed in all directions, quickly covering everything visible to the naked eye. This is Orochimaru. Bofeng Shuaman quickly evacuated with Ju Shinai. Everyone quickly retreated from the battlefield, and golden flashes flashed quickly, saving people who were in the battlefield. The 5-tailed beasts ran, doing their best to escape from the battlefield. Goodbye, Mr. G. Obito took the flying segment and directly distorted the space from the front of the pier. Utterly desperate. I saw the shockwave kill, sweeping everything in front of him, covering it at the same time. It had long been lifeless. Desperately diving into the ground, there are 10,000 alpacas galloping. This era is too desperate for him. From now on, it's okay to save my mother, Itsuki Kagaya, but it's definitely not okay to contact the people of Qingling Ninja Village. They are not people. I feel like it's the tailed beast Jade of the 9 tails. Nanao Shigame said for the rest of his life after the disaster. Can he also control the yin-yang chakra in the right proportions? The 6-tailed rhinoceros seemed to see a monster. If you have the will of martial arts, you can. Sasuke put his knife back into its sheath and said something that few tailed beasts could understand. What is martial will Dao? The 4-tailed Sun Wukong and the 5-tailed Mu King were both a little curious. After all, they and Renjuli Lao Zi, Han also learned chakra martial arts, but they only learned the first volume, and they didn't know the advanced courses yet. I don't understand, this is something that can only be learned by being promoted to martial arts shinobi, you are too weak. Shuhei found the opportunity and took the opportunity to taunt. Meanwhile, tall and thick walls forged by wood and earth rise. After all, there are 5-tailed beasts and human pillar power, and after metamorphosis, it is enough to support the consumption of chakra of this volume. When the shock wave of the Gaia energy cannon arrived here, it had weakened by 1/10, but it also covered the entire battlefield. Even so, when encountering the tall civil wall still crushed it, layer after layer, until everyone's chakra was almost exhausted, and when they stood tiredly in place, they miraculously blocked the blow. As far as the eye can see, a huge crater has appeared in the battlefield, and the center is even 100 meters deep. Monsters. The dried persimmon ghost mackerel hides in the forest. Be careful. Uchiha knew that even Nagato and Konan would not survive such an attack. Beside him, a figure slowly appeared. His first words were, "The flying segment is still connected to me with the curse, is there a way to disconnect it?" Quote. When I saw this guy with a very bad mouth, he looked embarrassed. The dried persimmon ghost mackerel couldn't help but laugh. He smiled and looked at the giant pit, and the boy above the giant pit. There is only one sentence in the heart. Do you want to give up the ultimate beautiful world? Uchiha, or that a whole new world is being built? Quote. The gaze is watching. Naruto, with his massive chakra reserves and the strong vitality of the Yang escape technique, could barely support the price of opening the 8th gate. Marshall will let him know that he was weak, but he was powerless to float in midair. Sasuke, I love Luo jumped up. Flying with a knife and stepping on sand suspended in the air. Just as Naruto was about to fall straight to the ground. The palms of the two touched him at the same time. Crane tail. Sasuke scolded directly. Naruto. Luo is also relieved. In danger. Sasuke turned around, only to see a vine coming at him. Fortunately he was fast enough. This vine attacked everyone in all directions at the same moment. But they were all dodged by them without exception. Naruto was rescued, and the remaining 3 of Sho's organization quickly retreated. The real world. Right at that moment. None of them dodged the vines because they had fallen into the illusion. The members of the Shao organization did not leave. Above the big pit, branches and vines coexist, and even the toad immortals were caught and fell into illusion. Village center. The 9-tailed tree stood tall, 10 times as tall, and its vines and branches were just enough to bind everyone in the spirit realm. This is a single machine networking of the spirit world, and it is also a meta-universe belonging to the spirit country. In the dark, a figure walked to the underground secret room. Even I can't dodge this illusion, why are you letting me avoid it, spirit shadow? He raised his head, and the crow flew away from him. The underground chamber, but there was no more response. Only a letter next to the sculpture quietly appeared. Uchiha opened the paper in the underground chamber. There's a passage written on it. Uchiha Itachi, when you see this letter, Nagato, Konan should already be dead, even the Absolute is controlled by me. I will take the lives of all the geniuses of this era, after this, they will be reborn. When you come here, in return for my promise to my disciple Sasuke, I will revive the entire Uchiha clan. At that moment, it will alarm the entire Konoha village, and you need to take the Uchiha clan out of the country of fire at the first time. If you come back here alive, I will cure you of a terminal illness. If you die on the road, you will inevitably have to walk in the pure land of bliss. Quote. Resurrection, Uchiha clan. Uchiha's pupils shook with it, and outside was the state where the entire spirit country was under control. Caught in an illusion, leaving him alone to stay awake. In order to break into Konoha village and rescue the resurrected Uchiha clan. Is it just the Uchiha clan that has been resurrected? What kind of ninjutsu is this, or forbidden art? Uchiha asked, but received no answer. How can I know if I'm in a spell? His second question was also not answered. A person stood quietly in place. He also tried to probe the underground environment, but was prevented by the huge forbidden technique. It is unimaginable to let the spirit realm enter the illusion, and even to additionally resurrect the Uchiha clan, which requires consuming chakra. Even the 9 tails can't support it for a long time. Moreover, no matter how strong he is, he can't really resurrect the entire ninja realm, and the chakra needed in that way will be beyond common sense. Quote. Uchiha is sure that the green spirit is only resurrecting the Uchiha clan at most, because resurrecting more people is undoubtedly looking for death. No one will come this far selflessly. Is that his choice? It's naive. Quote. Uchiha doesn't care if he has illusions, he is a genius of illusions, and the only thing that can make him fall into it is the boy named Uchiha Shuishui. Now, the man was long gone, and even the only eye he left was hidden in the crow. There was no one in the world who could make him miraged. In addition to the spirit world, it is just an illusion that even Uchiha Weasel only hears its name and does not hear its voice. Did you promise Sasuke to resurrect the Uchiha clan, so he was dead? Also, besides that, what else could turn his hatred into faith? I could see that there was no hatred for me in his eyes, but he didn't approve of my choice. To say that this is his choice would be naive. Where in the world is there a fruit for nothing? The so-called resurrection is nothing more than an elaborate conspiracy. Itachi left the underground chamber and didn't go to inject chakra for Sasuke to wake him up. He wanted to see what tricks this Qingling had. While the ninja ran, he also carried a small sculpture of the blue spirit Nine Tails in his pocket. I know you can hear it, Lingyiang. No matter what state you're in right now, I'm going to tell you. What will be followed will probably be the last words of my life. If you can, please tell him. Although he is a nine-tailed human pillar power, possessing immortal arts, chakra is extremely large, but other heavenly gods already need to pay a heavy price. I've heard that he used it before against Konoha's ninjas, Kakashi and the others, and he will use it less in the future. For ordinary people, using it once takes more than 10 years to wait for the next opportunity. He can't rely too much on this ninjutsu, too many times, even if chakra is enough, he will distort his spirit. Quote. Uchiha has never been so talkative. In front of anyone, whether it was the former Kakashi Dark Squad, or walking with Shisui, or teaming up with Loquat Juzo and dried persimmon Oni, he never changed his inner peace. Only this moment. For this nine-tailed fox who is also Sasuke's elder and has no malice. It was as if he had a lot to say. He feared that there would be no more chances. Listen to Hokage, if I die, let Sasuke take my eyes so that he can have a kaleidoscope chakra eye and never have to worry about the damage of overuse again. I also have a Uchiha eye that is hidden in a crow, which I gave to Naruto when I was fighting, and you should already know about it. Whatever your purpose, as long as I die. Please give him your eyes. Quote. That little sculpture in my pocket. It was silent for too long. Finally spoke at this moment. Don't worry, it's not as bad as you think. As soon as Qingling's words fell, his chakra completely disappeared from this world. Fortunately, the spirit world is maintained by the chakra of the person in the illusion in the body, otherwise many people will wake up at this moment. Qingling Shinobi Village. Under the Chamber of Secrets. The molten slurry in the bottom shell is piping hot. The giant array had already been formed, and at this moment, Qingling's figure was emaciated to the extreme. He grinned stupidly, his breath getting weaker. Wheel. Return. Sky. Bear. Chakra finally ran out at this moment, and at the same time, he closed his eyes as he wished. A long-saved chakra erupted. Start with the new 10 tails and soar to the sky. Rumble. This chakra pillar of light erupted from Qingling Ninja Village and rushed straight into the sky. The entire ninja world can see a pillar of light rising on the horizon that is hostile to the gods, which is the most extreme great power of living beings. Konoha Shinobi Village. Uchiha Old Land. Standing alone on the streetlight, the ferret feels the small sculpture of chakra appear and disappear with it. Immediately after that, the Qingling Ninja Village in the faraway spirit country erupted with a brilliant pillar of light. He understood that this nine-tailed fox had really given up all his chakra. What exactly is the purpose of the spirit shadow? Uchiha Weasel carefully observed the changes in the village. Squeak. The door of their house opened. Fugaku Uchiha and his wife walked out of the house together. In the other direction, the girl Uchiha Izumi ran out of the house in a panic, seemingly looking for someone. Itachi's heart tightened, he had never breathed so quickly. Since he met Qingling, he has only undergone many changes overnight. He became nagging, he became mouth-breaking, he began to hesitate and also began to nervous. At this moment, when the doors of thousands of families of the Uchiha family were opened. For the first time, he began to wonder if he really did something wrong. Is it really wrong for the Uchiha clan to fight for what they should have? Finally, the boy with the two strongest pupils of Uchiha appeared in front of him. Uchiha was stunned. All these years, he is 20 years old, and he is still so young. Uchiha stopped the water and searched for something strange after the resurrection as quickly as possible, and found him. What the hell is going on here? Am I not dead? What is dead? Can it mean that I just fell into illusion? Most of these people died of illusion, and many spent their lives in monthly reading. When he saw the figure of Uchiha Itachi, he was even more puzzled. Guys, get out of here with me first, and we'll talk about the rest later. The moment Uchiha Weasel spoke, his father and Uchiha stopped the water, and Uchiha Izumi didn't hesitate, and quickly stood beside him. With the support of the patriarch and the strongest person, even if everyone was confused, they quickly dragged their families and fled from the corner of this Konoha. At night, there are also familiar figures in Konoha village, which are extremely strange. Weasel, what the hell is going on? The water stopped and rushed all the way, and it was difficult to hide the doubts in my heart. Do you believe that there really is a selfless existence in the world? Uchiha couldn't believe it himself. All life has selfish desires, unless it is a will. Uchiha replied. Its name. Qingling will. For the first time, Itachi finds the answer. He wants to escape Konoha, escape the land of fire. This time it is not to slaughter the clansmen and lead them into the abyss, but to rush to hope. Dawn comes. Qingling reappears. Konoha White Fang returned home, and after a long absence, the village did not change much. His son, Kiki Kakashi, is not at home, but there is a picture on the bedside table. Bofeng Shuaman, he knew. Several other children are Rin Hirano and Uchiha Obito. It seems that he is doing well. Kiki Sakumo carried a short knife on his back and silently left the village. He was resurrected, but before he died, he was resentful of the villagers. Therefore, he left again. Under the moonlight, Sarutobi Konohamaru stood alone in front of the grave, his grandfather dead. Left permanently, and the former naughty him gradually became brave. It just hasn't been a shortcut method that has become more powerful. The legacy left by the 8 flying sun chop still needs him to learn longer. An old man stood in front of him and gently stroked his head. Grandpa. Konohamaru was ecstatic, but soon thought it was his overly missed fantasy. Silly child, I don't know why I was resurrected, but there must be another corpse of mine buried underground. What an incredible power. Sarutobi allowed Konohamaru to cry in his arms. Recalling that after the ghoul seal was cracked by the green spirit, he said goodbye to the sleeping Naruto in that small village. He suddenly sounded, so that he didn't have time to say goodbye to Konohamaru. Until now, if anything could do this miracle beyond taboos, that must be the fox that can only mysteriously crack the ghoul seal inside. Konoha's mountain is not high. But Matkai has long been accustomed to cultivating here in the dead of night. The Uchiha clan escaped. Mater Dai looked confused. Well, they seem to be resurrected, led by Uchiha Itachi. This is too strange, obviously it is him. Kai said halfway, turning his head in trepidation and seeing his dead old father resurrected, still the same as back then. I couldn't say anything for a while, so I had to come to Lilianwa. Thousand Hands Land. Wearing white cold armor, he stood in the moonlight. His calm analysis, as the dirt reborn. But my strength is the same as before I was alive, and I have not been suppressed by my own strength. Big brother, has it been resurrected? If he was also resurrected, wouldn't that guy from Uchiha be too? Quote. The Valley of the End. The 2 most familiar figures stand on sculptures on each side of the waterfall. I don't know what's going on yet, but it's funny. A smile without heart and lungs between the 1,000-hand pillars. Not a dirt rebirth. Strange, are my eyes also reincarnation eyes? Uchiha hesitated, apparently not even he understood the reason for the matter. Turn around and leave, without the slightest intention of staying. The Hyuga clan, the clan land. Hinata is practicing boxing under the moon. She has stepped into the 9th level of martial arts apprenticeship. After several transformations, her strength is not what it used to be. Just to catch up with that person's figure, she is still cultivating tirelessly. Spark ran anxiously out of the hut and grabbed her arm. Sister, it's not good, something strange happened. Uncle, resurrected. Quote. Mist Hidden Village. Because Naruto, Kakashi and the others disappeared, the mission was received by Kai, and Momochi, who was finally kicked to death, appeared here inexplicably with Shiro. Is this the hell of nightmares? Momochi said without slashing again. Maybe it's coming back from the dead and never beheading Mr. again. Bai said happily. At this time, the 7 former ninja swords appeared in front of him one after another, even Loquat Juzo. Village Stronghold. Mio was arrested and detained here. The person who had been selected Zhu Li did not appear for a long time. Until a familiar figure appeared. The cage was directly broken. Out of the mist came a 4th-generation Meizukage Citrus Yakura who looked like a teenager, but in fact even had a grandson. What happened? He asked coldly. The 1st generation, the 2nd generation, and the 3rd generation of the Water Shadow were also standing outside the cage in confusion. Above the mountains. Union Village. When he saw the dead Thunder Shadows appear, Kurabi looked at the 4 generations of Thunder Shadows in confusion. Oh, the perfect human pillar force has also been hit by illusion. Hey, this dream is really strange. Hey. In the corner, the Golden Horn, who was originally arrogant and hunted the Thousand Hands and the second generation Thunder Shadow at this moment, the Silver Horn brothers are indignant. Together, they were enough to put down any Thunder Shadow present, as well as Kurabi. It's just that. They had just been beaten by 4 Thunder Shadows and Kurabi. If there are 6 ninja tools in hand, the 2 of them can kill them with confidence. Even hit everyone present hard. Sand Hidden Village. Chio's mother-in-law can't sleep as usual. She is already old, plus she has a lot of work. Not only cannot sleep insomnia, but more and more serious, often unable to sleep at night. The night is beautiful today. The 3rd generation mechas is very handsome, and the backs of the 2nd generation mecha and the 1st generation mecha are as tall as they were then. Wait, what did you just walk by? Konkuro is practicing puppetry at home, and he is working day after day to save I Luo and Luo Sha from the clutches of the Blue Spirit Ninja Village. Suddenly, Tamari broke through the door, looking flustered. Hey, old sister, no matter how anxious you are, you have to knock on the door. Mom, resurrected. Tamari ignored Konkuro's complaints, and there was a deceased figure behind her. Iwahide Village. It always seems to be the last one here. Onoki had been away from the 5 cages meeting for only a few days, but he was asking himself again and again. Is it really wrong? Is it wrong to make the village prosperous? What would he say if the 2nd generation Hokage was still alive? In the confusion, the figures of the 1st and 2nd generations appeared in front of him. Onoki muttered as if awake. Am I becoming more and more stubborn and becoming the most hateful old man? You seem to have lost something, remember the will of earth. Onoki. The words of the 2nd generation were thunderous, which made the little old man burst out a lot of pain in his heart. He did lose his heart, and the war and decades of experience exhausted him and made him wary. Dusty and spotless. And his heart is dusty. Yuyin Village. Nice view tonight. Hanzo wears a mask and walks under the night sky where the light rain does not stop. How did he die? Dozens of guards and Nagato, who himself did not block the vengeance, died in their pajamas. When he returned to this world, he was a little dazed, but unfortunately he was only released to wait for someone to live, and the heroism of calling it Konoha Sanshin was long gone. Suddenly, he left the village with some fear and dashed off into the distance. He saw the branches and vines in the sky, and the people in the spirit world, and his heart became more and more confused. What the hell is wrong with this world? Land of spirits. A shabby chalet. On the railing was a small book, and 3 small pieces of paper with each person's name written on it. When the door is gently opened. Confused, Nagato and Conan looked up and saw a smirking teenager. Moonlight penetrates through the dilapidated roof, illuminating the dusty and permanent heart. Who can tell me what is going on with so many branches in the sky and vines on the ground? Yahiko smirked. Nagato looked at Conan, and the two looked at each other and smiled. Yes, long-lost laughter. It seems like a long story. Well, we must have misunderstood a guy, and now it's hard to even confirm if he's still alive. Xiao Nan took a deep breath of air. Xiao's robe could not cover her perfect figure. Has the rain stopped in Yuyin Village? The boy in front of them asked softly. There are always people in the world who miss others and are missed by others. The same Yuyin Village, most of them recognize Pain 6 Dao, but there are also the very few guys hiding in the ground, thinking of a man who made their village once stand on a brilliant foothold. Whoever is remembered will be born again in this world. What, wife, Kojira under the tree, you two actually remarried. The man stood at the door of the house with a confused look, thinking that he had completely lived in vain in his life, and he would encounter this scene when he came back to life. Until he saw the boy in the corner, blinked his eyes, and jumped into his arms. There are always people walking forward, and there are people waiting in place. On this night, too many miracles were born. After this, there were countless praises, and the nine-tailed fox just said calmly. See, Nine Lama, you must not learn from the eldest brother. Underground molten slurry. Within the huge formation, the nine tails were born, and he opened his eyes to see not the 6 Dao immortals who had promised to see him in another world. It was a fox immortal sitting cross-kneeled and dressed in blue. Is there a god in this world? The 9 lamas were not sure, but he had more and more memories in his mind, which was exactly what Qingling had done. Except for not seeing the infinite resurrection system, everything went through his mind. When he sensed that his self as the Nine Tails had become stronger and stronger at the moment of his resurrection from the dead, he was shocked by the Qingling's means. "You're the one Lu Dao is waiting for," the 9 Lamas muttered, wondering if he had really died or had his soul and memory sealed by the Qingling. After confirmation, the 9 Lamas crawled beside the dead corpse, waiting quietly. The years change. As the 9 Tails, he had already experienced too much, and only at this moment, he felt that life fell like a leaf. After Lu Dao died, no one could give him such a feeling for a long time. It is as if hope is imminent, within reach and out of reach. Qingling Shinobi Village. After one night, the ninja world changed dramatically. Uchiha came here with the Uchiha family, quietly waiting under the tree, as if waiting for the arrival of fate. "So, we really died once." Uchiha Fugaku was dumbfounded. Was he still destroyed by his own son? "It's ridiculous. I can't imagine so much that happened after I died." Uchiha Shisui was more willing to analyze past intelligence. "We don't know if Tuanzo and the others have been resurrected for the time being, but from today onwards, we will be the Uchiha clan of Qingling Ninja Village. We couldn't figure out how to do it at the end of the day." Uchiha smiled faintly, and black blood spilled from the corner of his mouth, but he endured it abruptly and did not cough up. His life and death are unpredictable. The seemingly stable and insightful Uchiha Itachi is only less than 20 years old this year. But to experience many ups and downs in the world. More important than his own safety is Qingling. Only if he is alive can he change this ninja world. Early morning. When the light broke dawn, one vine after another broke. The people who have been reborn from the cocoon looked blankly at the sun. They had a dream in which the village in the dream first defeated the Xiao organization, but was destroyed by the 5 major ninja villages, and the Qingling chakra was exhausted and died. War after war allowed them to witness the cruelty of the world. On top of the ruins, he desperately wants to build the Qingling ninja village that was once created when Qingling was alive. The results were all in vain. Until finally their generation dies, children grow up, hiding in all corners of the world, constantly searching for new possibilities. Calling themselves spirits, they repeat the mistakes of the past again and again, and rise again and again. The name of the green spirit turned into a will, making them stand up again and again unwillingly in the dark ninja world and say what they really thought. Hope blooms and is shattered, life and death, and the cycle continues. Until this moment, the dream woke up. They opened their eyes and found that everything was just a dream. The Qingling ninja village was still there, and their divine tree was still there. All hope remains. The dried persimmon ghost mackerel was kicked to death by opening 7 doors in the spirit world, and was never used as an experimental product, and finally people are not people, ghosts are not ghosts alive. Because he was transformed into a thorough experiment by several generations of Qingling ninja village, controlled by a forbidden technique, let alone save Datamu Kagaya, he couldn't even save himself. Now, exhausted, he was grabbed by Fei Duan and resentfully resisted, and as a result, he ushered in a critical attack with Obito. Uchiha Sasuke walked to the divine tree. His eyes were a lot calmer. He had been with Naruto, Iroh and others all over the world in the spirit world. In order not to let the flames go out, shot after shot, failure after failure. Now, when he woke up, standing in front of him were the Uchiha clan and his brother. In the spirit world, Itachi gave his eyes to Sasuke before he died, and he now feels strange in his heart. Standing in front of the family is overwhelmed. Is this true? Everything the teacher Qingling said has come true. He was stunned before grinning. His smile was less like himself, like Naruto, more like his childhood self. It turned out to be the teacher's illusion. Naruto crossed his hands at his waist, looking relieved. Weasel student, I think that infinite monthly reading may not be perfect. The dried persimmon Oni was kicked to death by Naruto in the spirit world. The two stood together and smiled tacitly. Yes, if there is a choice, why pursue a false illusion? The ferret raised his head to look at the divine tree. He had never had any faith, only for this moment, he hoped that the fox was really a god. The human pillars came to the bottom of the divine tree. Kaide and Yutaka also joined the endless war in the spirit world, but unfortunately died miserably, and were wiped out by Yenian village and Wuyin village respectively, leaving not even a trace of soul. Teacher, why hasn't he come out yet? Naruto stood in the doorway of the underground chamber, confused. He was trying to break in as usual. One hand stood in front of him. The task given to us by teacher Qingling is to stay out to the death. Sasuke's tone was cold. He wanted to confirm the life and death of the green spirit more than anyone, but he couldn't. As long as it is a task given by Spirit Shadow, he must complete it. Give, you get out of the way. Dreaming. Naruto only wanted to confirm the death of the green spirit, and he had nightmares again and again in the spirit world, remembering the despair of the day the green spirit died. Now that I am back to reality, how can I deceive myself again? At this moment, the chakra of the 9 tails erupted from the underground chamber. Everyone's eyes changed. However, the next moment, everyone sensed the difference in chakra, and their expressions were gloomy. He's a stinky fox, but not a green spirit. Shuhei actually felt a little sour while eating potato chips, and it was not crispy enough to eat it. Is it tears smashing wet potato chips? I said earlier that I don't want the chakra of the water attribute. The 9 llamas turned into normal fox sizes and walked out of the underground secret room. People's emotions range from excitement to loss to sobbing at this moment. The tragedy in the spirit world, they definitely don't want to experience it again, absolutely not. Can he even resurrect the true 9 tails, but not himself? The toad on Zlai's shoulder was also a little unhappy. This is called teasing the world. He came and goed, and he took nothing with him. Another toad immortal is equally sad. This is a strong man worth remembering. Maybe it's time for me to write a book about the spirit story. Zlai also shook his head and smiled bitterly. Did they want to separate shortly after they met? This kind of life is inevitably too boring. Stinky fox, where did your eldest brother die? Shuhei cursed. The 9 llamas wanted to teach him a lesson, but in the end they were too lazy and walked directly past him. Raise your head and look at the high canopy of the divine tree. He asked me to bring you a word. When they heard the words of the 9 llamas, everyone was no longer worried. There is a word. That's enough to give them hope. Where the light can't be reached, we go there ourselves. The wind blew up the leaves. The words of the 9 llamas brought everyone in Qingling Ninja Village into a reverie of the past. It's a day you won't forget for a lifetime. This is also the past that they desperately want to recover in the spirit world, and they do their best to restore their dreams, even if they are covered in wounds, they always go alone. The light of the morning sun shines on the earth. The tall sacred tree was also cut out of long shadows, and people turned their backs to the light, stepped into the shadows, and turned to meet the sun. Before long, the sun and wind reached their feet, but the other shadow was already full of people. If there is not enough hope, then despair will also be taken. Is Qing flexible? No one asked again, and this answer was answered by Qingling's words. In the belly of the divine tree, a young girl walked out. She is none other than Hotaru, and when she hugs Hataka, the Earth Spider clan, like the Uchiha clan, swears to die and decides to become the people of this spirit country. Within the divine tree, the great snake of Yagi opened his eyes, and with 8 heads and 8 tails, he turned his head to look at Sasuke Uchiha. The 9 llamas also walked towards Naruto. For the arrangement of the green spirit, the two had already known that the new power was also a powerful existence in the ninja world, but they inevitably had a sense of loss in their hearts. Is that the power of the Yaoi? The 4-tailed monkey king smashed the floor. To be even more terrifying, it seems that there is something strange inside, as if it is going to open its mouth to devour everything. The 5-tailed Mew King calmly analyzed. Has the 9 llamas been hidden by the spirit shadow all along? It is really worthy of being able to create the existence of the Yagi Great Serpent by himself. The 6-tailed rhinoceros was impressed. If he hadn't created this illusion, just for himself, it would be the second Otoki Kagaya. Nanao said in admiration. Oh, yes. If he was for himself, he could obviously become the new Datamu Kagaya, but he chose to become a 6-Dao immortal. This kind of mastery of the yin and yang escape technique, which has the power to surpass red dust and is enough to live forever, has to choose to die. He's really not dead. The 9 llamas repeated to everyone before re-entering the sealed space inside Naruto's body. At first, he also thought that Qingling was dead. Because the 9 lamas could not see the existence of the infinite resurrection system, and only a part of the memory, the Qingling had indeed exhausted chakra and died no longer. But the guy appeared in front of him with an even more powerful posture. And let him first bring this sentence to everyone, and after a few words, he began to continue the retreat, saying that it was to digest and digest. At that time, the 9 lamas were stunned, but now looking back, it is like crazy. What kind of monster is that guy, and why can he go against the rules of the world again and again? If you hit another god, you will die and be reborn. Trapped by the ghoul seal, it was actually cracked from the inside. Chakra, who has the level of 10 tails, but exhausts everything and dies. That's it. He can also open his eyes again and come back to life in front of the 9 lamas. Therefore, when Shuhei said that Qingling was his good big brother, he did not refute it at all. That guy was simply against the sky, carved out of a mold with the 6 Tao immortals, but those 3 eyes seemed to be more powerful. When everyone heard this, they did not answer, but just looked at each other and smiled tacitly. Same as in a dream. Qingling still exhausted chakra, and they also defeated the Xiao organization. Only this time, the 5 great ninja villages have not joined forces, and they have enough opportunities to prepare everything. Then change the future as if you were born again. That's what people say in their hearts. The 9th Lama knew that this group of people would not believe that the Qingling was still alive, and he could only hope that the Qingling would wake up soon. Qingling Ninja Village quickly returned to its usual calm. Itachi and the Uchiha clan are not used to living together, and choose to team up with the dried persimmon Oni mackerel, waiting to fulfill the agreement with Qingling under the sacred tree. In the last days of his life, he didn't want to miss a little. According to the old rules, everything is running as usual. Following. A message resounded through Qingling Ninja Village. All the big and small people in the ninja world have been resurrected, and I heard that Konoha's ninja god Senjukuma is also included. Not often. The news about Uchiha once again blew up the audience. Obito felt embarrassed when he was exposed, but he still accepted it calmly, and now he dared to face anything himself. Gradually, the figures outside the village sneaked into the existence of the spirit country more and more. Hearing that Yuyan village was taken over by 3 young people, they sent a letter to join the spirit country and meet the Qingling. The upper echelons of the village, the 2 temporary martial arts ninja, Naruto, and Sasuke politely refused on the grounds of the Raikage retreat. 3 days later, a ninja demigod, Hanzo appears in the land of fire. Encountering with the god of the ninja world, the Thousand Hands Pillar, life and death are uncertain, but the radius of thousands of meters is completely wasted, and it has become a field filled with poisonous gas. Kai's father, a lifelong shinobi, wore kilometers to pursue Konoha's White Fang. The 2 fought in a place close to the land of wind, and the White Fang only walked without a fight and mysteriously disappeared. One by one, the shadows that had died appeared in the world, and even those predecessors who had no tailed beasts also returned. As reborns, they naturally did not suffer too much because of the tailed beast. Therainto. The power of the 5 generations of Water Shadow, as well as the 3 tails, and the 7 people of the 2 generations of ninja swords stood at the top of the list. The 4th generation of Thunder Shadow and the 2 tails and 8 tails of Union Village, as well as the golden horn that was taken, the Silver Horn brothers became the existence second only to the top of the list. Besides, Sand Hidden Village, Iwayne Village, and Konoha Village all ranked 3rd with 3 shadows and tailless beasts. The world suddenly became interesting. Only the village of Konoha is underground. A fox demon corpse floating in the molten slurry suddenly opened its eyes. Resurrection is resurrection, but the problem is that the pain of death is also real. Qingling got up from the molten slurry, and now he has undergone a new transformation, and where is he afraid of any natural elements? It's like a chakra in itself. The fire is bright and dark. I saw that thunder and fire chakra were quenching each other, and the yang attribute chakra quickly condensed into an entity. Bones are born. Along with it, the water and wood, and earth attribute chakra constructed the 5 internal organs, and every moment there was a more intense breath of life erupting. The wind enters the cave, and at the same time that the yang chakra turns into a big head, the yin chakra is also injected into the pituitary gland. This is the source of the union between soul and body. Meridians appear, connecting every inch of the body, and the 5 senses are born. Every inch of his body is chakra, and I see all kinds of colors and lights blooming, which looks particularly gorgeous. Flesh and blood appeared, skin reappeared, hair, and 9 tails were all condensed one by one. The appearance that the world thought was nothing more than a shell to him. When everything is ready, Yang Dun chakra erupts from the whole body, activating the Yin Dun chakra hidden in the brain, and the pituitary gland erupts as a link between the two. All nerves were no longer silent, and the electric light burned away like fire. In an instant, Qingling opened the fox's eyes, and the moment he appeared, he clasped his paws and stepped on the molten slurry. The fox's tail swayed, and a green robe covered its whole body. He took a deep breath of heat. Every breath of air here had toxins, but Qingling, as a chakra condensate similar to the tailed beast, did not care about this. The little llama should have returned to Qingling Ninja Village, just stabilize them for the time being. I just got used to this new body. After all, it is not easy to find the next chance to be buried. Qingling died the same as before. The strength has once again skyrocketed several times. If the first few times he died, he gained several times the strength of the 9 tails, and he was barely able to match the ordinary Atsuki clan. Then, after eating the chakra fruit, he was promoted to one of the absolute peak powerhouses in this universe. This resurrection has doubled its strength again, which is even more bizarre. It seems that the little ones have to work harder to consume, and if the chakradhan medicine can be achieved, the consumption will increase again. The degree of development of martial arts can also determine whether everyone can learn martial arts, and this thing will explode once and consume chakra. It's all good stuff. Qingling nodded in satisfaction. So far, martial arts ninja tools and martial arts will have been completed. Only chakra fruits and martial arts remained. What's the reward this time? I've been waiting for more than a year. Quote. Since I came to Qingling Ninja Village, I have slept for many months. In the blink of an eye, with Naruto, Sasuke has been here for more than a year and has experienced many life and death battles. The system fell silent for a while. Finally turned on the screen again. The host has taken too long to open the system, and the boot time is too long. Please also ask the host for understanding. This resurrection is successful, the task is completed, and the resurrection reward is being settled. The settlement is complete. Due to the fear that the host is too strong and it is too difficult to resurrect again, this reward will directly give a super gift package. On the system interface, a huge gift package projection appeared. Do you want to open the super package immediately? Open. Qingling had waited for this day for too long, and he was even a little sleepy, and he couldn't wait to sleep now. Super gift pack open. Ninja rewards. 6 Immortal Ninja Pack. Golden Rope. 7-star sword. Red gourd, banana fan, amber bottle. Ninja rewards. Premium skin pack, Qingling immortal clothes. Secret rewards. Blood succession snave, Samadhi true fire. Bloodline rewards. Blood succession limit, 3 heads and 6 arms, other rewards. 1 chakra fruit, ninjutsu encyclopedia scroll, physical skill encyclopedia scroll, magic encyclopedia scroll. Stingy, I planned for so long to resurrect this time, you actually gave me this reward. Qingling complained. The infinite resurrection system was silent for a moment and typed a line. This time is a double reward, equivalent to the reward of the host resurrection twice. The host's opening strength is too strong, the resurrection is difficult, very reasonable. Qingling glanced at the system and acquiesced to its slumber. I hope that the next reward can be changed better, and I can eat a fruit and feel at ease. The chakra fruit was thrown into the mouth, chewed and swallowed, and the taste of this thing was the same. Once again, he gained the power of a demon fruit, and it only took a moment to fuse. Qingling's body is indeed improving at a speed beyond its limit. When he put on the Qingling immortal clothes, a line of small print immediately appeared from the system interface. The immortal world clothing that can withstand an equal amount of chakra attacks equivalent to the host itself, can be released after all storage, and can be automatically repaired. Qingling put on this dress, changed it as he pleased, and his body shook immediately. The robe also changed, preparing for its 3 fox heads and 6 paws, and it was clear that the robe was much more useful than the points described. The 3 heads and 6 arms are not simple bloodlines, and at the moment of release, their own strength will also skyrocket. 1 plus 1 plus 1 is far greater than 3. Samadhi true fire. Qingling tried to release it, but saw that a strange flame appeared a little and fell into the molten slurry, and the hot molten slurry seemed to transform into a substance and become wood, and it was quickly burned into a large piece. The samadhi true fire is still burning, gradually eating away at this molten sea, which is obviously just a little bit of power. If the Qingling spread his hand, the power would be extremely terrifying. Even molten slurry can be incinerated, which is also too unscientific. Qingling collected the magical power, threw the 3 scrolls aside, and immediately 3 shadow doppelgangers appeared. You 3 have to study hard, I'm a little sleepy, take a break first. He yawned, cast a yin and yang escape technique with both hands, quickly condensed a bunch of small black balls with a huge chakra, squeezed it into a huge bed, and lay down comfortably. It's so comfortable. As soon as Qingling slept, the 6 Dao Immortal Cave ninja tools were also casually placed on the bed. The 3 shadow avatars saw this scene, confirmed that there was no doubt, and immediately performed their own shadow avatar techniques. They each divided the scroll into 3 parts, let their shadow doppelgangers learn cultivation, and they also used the Dao Jade to squeeze into a big bed to take a nap like Qingling. Cycle after cycle, and soon the task is refined to the doppelganger of each doppelganger. This harmonious scene can be described as extremely warm. Under the jade bed, that trace of true fire is still tirelessly encroaching on the molten sea. Qingling Shinobi Village. In the village, which had been silent for several days, there was suddenly good news. The 3 shinobi joined forces, plus 3 days ago, Pocket came to the land of spirit alone from Konoha to join this research on chakra elixir. The first chakra pill was finally born. The village's chief scientist, Orochimaru, said. He's going to have a Pinden conference. The big snake pill and the Pocket stood up together and gathered half the people of the village to come and watch their newly produced elixir. Jiraiya and Tsunade chose to stand on the sidelines and watch, they obviously wanted to be much calmer. After all, one will be immortal mode, and the other has developed the 100 How technique, as long as there are no too serious injuries can be healed. Therefore, he did not care too much about this first elixir. People chattered and gathered together, and after the spirit country was completely established, even Yuyin village recognized its identity as a member of the spirit country. Instead, the railway finally got there, but more details remained unresolved. The new village chief of Yuyin village was only willing to obey Qingling's orders, firmly believing that he would wait until he appeared. But nominally, Qingling Ninja Village has indeed become the core of the spirit country. It is located in the middle of the country of wind, the country of earth, and the country of fire, but it has a pivotal position. The entire ninja world seems to be in silence, and no one knows who will be the first to attack the spirit country. After all, they will not die for a day, and the 5 great ninja villages will have trouble sleeping. With 6-tailed beasts, there are also S-class ninjas sitting in the town, and all the survivors of the former Shao organization have become members of the spirit country. Just guarding under the tree are the Uchiha Weasel and the dried persimmon Onamackerel. With such a lineup, no one wants to come thanklessly. The shadows and powerhouses of each family have all been resurrected, and they don't want to weaken their own strength. Without exception, they are hoping that the other shinobi villages will take the lead in taking the opportunity to find a glimmer of life and take it from the weakest position. Whoever dares to strike at the spirit kingdom means losing both sides and being harvested by others. What's more, the legends of the ninja world have disappeared, as if the world has evaporated, giving people a feeling of a dark tide. On the village square, people are eagerly awaiting this Pinden conference. In full view, holding a wooden box, the big snake pill walked behind him calmly. Everyone, today is the last stage of the task that Lord Lingying gave me to complete, chakra pill. You don't know, according to the description of Lord Ryoshi in the scroll, this can be called alchemy, and it is very harsh. Every step requires excellence, even with a huge immortal chakra, medical level, and my superb technology and precision instruments, it needs to be refined day and night. This time, a total of 32 were baked, each of which was extremely valuable, requiring specific medicinal materials, first using an instrument to analyze its most delicate part, and then integrating it into the petri dish. Wait until the time is ripe, and then place different medicinal extracts in different orders. The result is this incredible bone-returning pill. Quote. Strong bones and blood pills. Everyone looked intently at the box they were holding. I saw a small pill lying there silently, not knowing what it was for. They looked at the big snake pill again with curiosity. If it is a madman who makes the elixir, no one will care, but this is the task that Qingling gave to the big snake pill, naturally no one will think that it is useless. On the contrary, each of them is looking forward to the role of the bone-strengthening pill. I believe everyone doubts the authenticity and effect of this pill, so let me try it for everyone. The big snake pill couldn't wait to throw the pill into his mouth and ate it with relish, and after a while, some impurities began to appear on his body. But soon his blood was boiling, just the cultivation of the immortal art Na Qi chapter, absorbing a large amount of chakra. In a short time, I entered the promotion posture. Everyone didn't know what it was, but they understood that the impurities that had been analyzed needed to at least be promoted to martial arts and forbearance. Isn't the big snake pill already promoted? Why are there still impurities? When the promotion of the great snake pill was over, he let out a breath of turbid breath. With a sly face, he said, each of us has a different physique, and taking the bone-strengthening pill can expel the hidden impurities in the body at the same time. Let your own flaws be made up. If you are seriously injured, you can also take this pill to directly create a part of new flesh and blood bones. It can be said that it can not only save lives, but also speed up cultivation. Quote. What? Does it still have this effect? After hearing this, people understood the effect of elixirs. If they were really so powerful, they bought as much as they had. According to Lord Lingying's orders, everyone will be allocated a certain amount of elixir according to the consumption rate of the realm's strength and weakness. In addition, completing more tasks can be exchanged for points, but if you take this elixir a few more times, the effect will be weakened. As I personally experienced, the effect of taking the first pill is 100 times that of the 30-second capsule. As soon as the words of the big snake pill fell, people were still cheering, but within a minute, someone realized that something was wrong. A total of 32 capsules have been refined, and you will eat them alone. So how well did it work when you ate the first one? The more you think about it, the more angry you get. You know, it stands to reason that everyone can get the basic elixir distribution. This big snake pill was eaten alone, which meant that they had no pills. The more I think about it, the more angry I get, and in the end, I even get dizzy and can't stand up. Me off, big snake pill, I'm going to pull out your snake skin. Amid the noise of people, Tsunade and Jiraiya also took the opportunity to slip away, leaving only Pocket alone and him to block the storm. Beaten up. Lao Zi, who has always been alone, has recently appeared more and more times with Han. No matter how the elixir has been absorbed, it's better to wait for the elixir to arrive. Han said confidently that he kept telling himself that he wanted to stay in Qingling Ninja Village and get more information for Yenian Village, but the battle between the 5 major ninja villages in the spirit world still made him unforgettable. Unconsciously, I have a sense of life and death in the village. Are you from the village? Yutaka and Hotaru walked by here, and a casual sentence almost broke Han's defense. Not far away. Kaide was alone wondering what this chakra elixir had in common with the hero water in their village. But Ai Luo observed in the shadows, following the orders of the Qingling, guarding the safety of the village and supervising these outsiders. In the crowd, someone left silently, without attracting anyone's attention in the slightest. He infiltrated the village with transfiguration, infiltrated it as a refugee, and made a living farming every day. Not only did they learn the way of life of Qingling Ninja Village, the basic operation, and even their chakra martial arts. Chakradhan medicine, it's really good. However, these people all have Mu Duan, and the chakra of Yin and Yang Dun attributes is the strangest. Especially if you don't know how to develop it yet, it's stupid. Quote. As one of the countless people who infiltrated the Qingling Ninja Village and inquired about whether Lingying was alive or dead, the more he knew about these people, the more ridiculous he felt. Not long after, as the first Ninja Dao 7, he sneaked into the crowd and disappeared again. Deep in the alley, a pair of reincarnation eyes quietly appeared and disappeared, and this legend named Uchiha Ba once again infiltrated the Qingling shinobi village. Time passes day by day. It has been nearly a week since the death of Qingling. The Martial Arts Ninja Research Laboratory and the Chakra Alchemy Department were established successively. Muya rebelled against him, became an assistant, and joined the alchemy department to become one of the right-hand men. The Puppet Hall and the Immortal Gate have also been established successively. It has become a behemoth like the previous Guard Defense Department, Blue Spirit Dark Department, Ninja Academy, Ninja Hospital, and Tailed Beast Hall. Early morning. A message came out again. Taikuzo is about to be born, formed by the wave Feng Shuiman, Kiki Kakashi, and the Uchiha Mysterious Man. This small village also expanded again during this period, and in just a few days, it gained the achievements of the 5 great ninja villages for hundreds of years. Its size has finally expanded further enough to be called the 6th largest ninja village. The railway extended to the entire territory of the Spirit Country, and even the wide avenues ran chakra internal combustion engine-powered trains. GARC stations have been set up to supplement the nuclear and chakra in various places. The first chakra power station was born, introducing natural energy into the core through multi-technology and Qingling fairy art, and transforming chakra into thunder attributes through exquisite instruments, introducing thousands of households. Electric lights and electrical appliances began to slowly enter the homes of ordinary people. Pure and pollution-free chakra energy has become people's expectations for the future. Qingling has long left ninjas to perfect the ninja magic weapon as much as possible, so these things that were once considered useless and easily destroyed have become new hopes. Children run through alleys on the way to the college. Deidara is chased to escape from his demolition lab. Why don't you let me build the Hall of Explosions? You are not at the same level as Lord Lingying, there is no pattern. As soon as he came out in a huff, he was dragged to a basement by Fei Duan. Here are sculptures and figures similar to Qingling, wearing Xingyi. Fei Duan had a fanatical expression. Deidara, come and meet Lord Qingling. Come on. Quote. Che, Lord Hokage is my master, what do you let me worship him, and he didn't die. Deidara had long known that Fei Duan often lobbied people that the whole village should worship Qingling, so that he would speed up his recovery. In the 4 corners of the room, pillars are placed. A white absolute is tied to the top. Sacrifice to Lord Qingling. Fei Duan didn't care about Deidara's slip away, and took the white sacrifice with his own care. On the square, the strong are like clouds, and their strongest is already the best among the preparatory ninjas. But the whole village recognized that the lower shinobi were only those few people, and as for the middle shinobi, there were only Naruto and Sasuke. But today, it still gathered a lot of people. They all have a martial arts ninja tool, or a sword, or a knife, and a seemingly ordinary, but in fact a powerful martial arts shuriken, which is bitter. Yesterday, the first batch of people who received the ration of pills took the bone-strengthening pill, their qualifications were improved, and their realms were also rising. However, it is up to them to cultivate. Even if you have learned the first volume of martial arts, you can understand the basic cultivation of martial arts. He even possessed martial arts ninja tools and took pills. The most important point in martial arts, or the existence that confused them all. The difficulty factor of martial arts is too high, unless you have a chakra and physique that surpasses ordinary people, and if you are responsible for trying it easily, it only takes a moment to be killed by the violent chakra. Even chakra, who has multiple attributes, can transform his physique. But their current bodies do not come directly from the chakra of the Qingling. How dare you practice wantonly, for fear that a little stubble will completely complete the calf. There is also a running on chakra here, which is exquisite to the extreme. The best of the preparatory ninjas, Hinata Ninja is one of them. He hid in this group of people, not mentioning his level of cultivation of martial arts. Ningxi found that the difficulty of martial arts is that after the physical skills improve the body, the perception of chakra and other aspects will also improve in a short time. For example, the 8-door Dunjia, 3-door scroll, announced by the whole village to the preparatory ninja, contains the method of opening the first 3 doors, and after casting, chakra will be significantly improved, and the foundation in all aspects will skyrocket. In this case, the use of physical skills is undoubtedly a multiplication of power. However, the requirement of martial arts is to perform ninjutsu in the case of this increase. Use physical skills to increase the value, improve attributes such as chakra, and then perform ninjutsu, and in an instant. It has all the characteristics of explosiveness, power, and lethality. I heard that Naruto has a variety of martial arts combining spiral pills and 8 doors of Dunjia, as well as immortal arts combined with 8 doors of Dunjia, spiral pills and shadow avatars. Sasuke also left his own combination of swordsmanship and physical skills, much like the skill improvement on the side of the Iron Country. Today, Hinata Ninja's real curiosity lies in whether his soft fist, Wei Tian, and Bagwazong can go one step further and fuse ninjutsu to develop that kind of extreme attack martial art in an instant. The young man held his breath, and saw Bo Feng Shuiman on the stage and smile with everyone. For this legendary man, Ning Xi's cognition has always been very good. Everyone really lowered their voices. After all, it was the golden flash that had suppressed their era for a while. Most of the time, people call it a yellow flash. But when it turns on the nine-tailed chakra mode, it will quickly turn into a golden light. It is said that after his resurrection, Konoha village witnessed the power of golden flashes overnight. Today, it is no secret that chakra wudo was abandoned in Konoha village by the wave feng shui gate. I heard that all the major ninja villages tried to obtain it from the Sarutobi slash, and Senjukuma thought that it could be shared, but only with the consent of the Qingling ninja village. Senju decisively rejected it, believing that this was a secret technique that the wave feng shui gate had brought out to them in the event that his son Naruto Uzumaki was detained by the Blue Spirit Shinobi village, and that it must not be given to anyone. Therefore, when the martial arts ninja of chakra martial arts, chakra pills and other details are filled one by one. The crucial martial arts have finally appeared. When people saw Heifeng Shuiman and Kakashi, Obito who concealed their identities, finally relaxed and whispered. I heard that in the first battle where the Nashao organization was completely destroyed, something called martial arts will was comprehended by Naruto and Sasuke, and I don't know if it has anything to do with martial arts. Hehe, I see you don't understand at all. You know well. Of course, it is said that martial arts are the key step for martial arts to endure under martial arts, and martial will is the key to whether martial arts can truly cultivate into a secret art of the ninja level on martial arts. Is every stage different? What is the matter with the immortal art Chi Na chapter that can only be cultivated under the martial path? You are really not proficient in information, but you can absorb natural energy and multiply the speed of cultivation by several times. When hearing about these unimportant topics, Ning Si directly put the message in the left ear and the right ear out. He looked at the man seriously. The latter, however, said politely to those behind him. Ah Fei, I want to fight with you and find justice for my family in the past 10 years. I will fight. Obito did not refuse, but decisively stepped forward. He did not take off the pineapple mask. The difference is that this time the two holes dug are kaleidoscopic writing wheel eyes. Kakashi, Jushina stood in the middle, expressionless as he announced the beginning. Everyone held their breath and realized that something was wrong. Doesn't it mean to announce the basis of martial arts? Okay, you want to establish a martial arts sect to explain the subtlety of martial arts to everyone, and further study. How did it become an internal duel in the blink of an eye? Ning Si noticed that the atmosphere was not right, and opened his eyes in all directions. From his point of view, it was a completely different new world. Double Kamui vs Golden Glitter, start. Who is he? Do you remember 13 years ago, the night attack on Konoha village that killed both the 4th generation Hokage Wave Feng Shuiman and his wife? Of course, the Nine Tails ran away, suspected of the attack of Uchiha coming back from the dead. He's Uchiha. When this person made this guess, everyone looked at him like a fool. Are you stupid? He is Uchiha Obito, and many old preparatory ninjas know about this, and he briefly took off his mask after being taken down by Raikage-sama with the spirit world. Our people in Konoha village recognized him and were disfigured, but some of the basics can still be seen that he should have been restored after being transformed by Raikage-sama. He has only put on a mask since our 4th generation Hokage was resurrected. This scare made Yenian village very faceless, but he also quickly found an idea. Shidame Hokage. You Konoha village, well, what a 2-5 boy. Well, our Konoha village should be a sub-village of the Green Spirit Shinobi village, and the Land of Fire is a subsidiary of the Land of Spirits. Is there a problem? Didn't you see that the three shinobi, the fourth generation, the nine-tailed man Zuli, and even the Uchiha clan are here? Quote. Don't make a faceless mess and directly shut up the preparatory ninja of Iwahide village. They can't wait to quickly catch a few ninjas from the mist-hidden village, and the ninjas of the Union village will come, and then they can sit and watch their quarrel with Konoha village, and they really feel comfortable thinking about it. Shish. Uchiha stopped the water and didn't know when he appeared here, and the others quickly asked them to shut up. People looked at the teenager with the corner of their eyes to stop the water. Instantaneous water stopping, the perfect fusion of the instantaneous technique and the shadow avatar technique, combined with the fire of the Uchiha clan, is enough to be proud of the existence of the group. In that era when Konoha's speed geniuses were born. One name after another. Between the thousand hands, Konoha White Teeth, Golden Flash, instantly stopped the water. Their name is still synonymous with speed to this day. It stands to reason that such a wizard should be easier to cultivate martial arts. Sure enough. Shuishui used a kaleidoscope to write chakra eyes and watched the entire battle the whole time. The most amazing thing about Qingling's reincarnation innate array is that he has restored all the bloodline abilities of the resurrected together. Such a situation will arise. There is really his corpse under the tombstone of the ape flying sun. Uchiha Shisui's Sharingan are in Sasuke, Itachi, and there is another. Only this weapon of the Ninja Dao 7 is unique. A chakra-eyed genius, a white-eyed genius are carefully observing every detail of this battle. Because they firmly believe that the real martial arts that Bofeng Shuaman wants to talk about is in the middle of battle. This is also the similarity of genius. Divine tree. Under this tree with various fruits, there was a young man with an increasingly weak body. Uchiha Izumi carefully brought the food he had made and delivered it to Uchiha as usual. Don't come next time. The weasel head did not lift, and could not bear the refusal of looking at each other. It's my own business. Izumi's eyes flickered, and his little nose was a little sour. It's also my thing. You know, my body can't even heal with strong bones and blood pills, and it takes time to cultivate the chakra martial Dao. I don't have time anymore. Quote. Itachi is honest. I don't believe it, my elixir is also given to you, it will definitely get better. Uchiha Izumi turned and ran, the girl always worried that she would run a step slower and let the tears fall. Mr. Itachi, the battle has begun, it's the mystery of martial arts, you don't want to see it. The dried persimmon ghost mackerel said with a smile that the ferret sat on a stone bench and he stood quietly on the side, and this scene had lasted for an unknown number of days. I want to fulfill my last promise. A trace of determination appeared in the weasel's eyes again, sweeping away all the depression, but his time was really running out. The people, brothers, and best friends have all returned. The dream of the organization also has a chance to come true. But he still has too many regrets. Girls who cannot hold hands and spend their lives together. All things are complete, but they will become the broken regret. And I don't know if the promise to that fox will be fulfilled one day. Oh God. Have you ever seen my desolation, known the right and wrong of my life, seen the good I gave to the world, and left my own wounds? The ferret felt his breathing become slower and slower, and every time he opened his eyes, he felt the pain of drilling his heart. Moment. The figures of two teenagers ran out of the underground secret room. One turns on the 9 Llamas immortal mode and runs to the dual place in the square. Another Susano, who turned on the 8 heads and 8 tails, stretched out his huge palm towards the man under the tree and held it in his hand. At this sad moment, a voice also sounded in Uchiha's ears. Long gone, ferrets. Hello, Mr. Qingling. An orange cyan chakra stretched out from the 10-tailed belly, engulfing the exhausted weasel inside. He smiled and had a belated dream. Above the square. The battle is on the verge of breaking out. The wave feng shui gate shot was a rapid instantaneous technique, and just in front of him, Obito was just a shadow doppelganger released when he entered the Shinwei space. It turned out that he had already prepared a large number of shadow doppelgangers in the Shinwei space in case of emergency. Bang! The avatar exploded into smoke, and the moment the wave feng shui gate flashed out of it, he was slashed through the neck by the real Uchiha Obito. When everyone was speechless, another puff of smoke. The wind blew, and more than a dozen shadow doppelgangers of the feng shui gate appeared in all corners. Shadow doppelganger shuriken. Suddenly. This move is undoubtedly a Yongmo to leave the mark of the Flying Thunder God. But the reason why Yongmo is called Yongmo is a strategy that makes people know where to hide and unstoppable. Kamui Yin Yang. Obito flashed, and where his eyes looked, the space quickly distorted, and in all directions was the palm of his shadow doppelganger. With the extension of the yin and yang escape technique, the spatial and temporal ninjutsu was further transformed. Susanoo Heavenly Curse. This time, the palm of the shadow avatar was covered with a layer of armor, and the huge Susanoo big hand grabbed towards the wave feng shui gate from all directions, without hiding its wild lethality. Bang! The handwriting depictions need to be rendered with pen and ink, in fact, it is only a moment. The reason why it is called the Heavenly Curse is because once this move begins, it is like a heavenly curse, and it cannot be avoided. Sure enough. People didn't have time to blink, all the shadow doppelgangers of Bofeng Shui Gate were caught on the spot, and no new flashes appeared in the smoke-filled square. Space is distorted, and even light has nowhere to hide. Obito lowered his head and retreated into the Shinwei space for a moment, ready to further find the wave feng shui gate hiding in the shadows. He didn't believe that he couldn't find an opponent even with this move. Purple electricity, flying thunder god art, 3 stages, reverse immortal step. The sound of the wave feng shui gate sounded. As soon as the name master appeared, he pronounced the name of the move at absolute speed, and disappeared under a large hand of Susanoo. He turned on the immortal mode, the complete body of Miaomu Mountain, and the Qingling immortal mode was a more secure and fast way to obtain natural energy. The whole person turned into purple lightning because of the surging of various chakras, and it was more like a purple lightning bolt when the flying thunder god art was turned on and turned into a tortuous light. Suddenly, a figure that could not breathe in Obito was disappearing, a figure of wave feng shuiman appeared. How can the same move be useful? Obito was because he had only one eye and had defects, but now he confidently blurred himself and also blurred the attack of the wave feng shui gate. Swish. The pineapple head mask disappeared, leaving only a large hand quickly imprinted. God is out of fire. After the seal was completed, countless powerful fireball techniques were directly released, drowning everything in front of him. The sea of fire burned everything, and when the heat did not dissipate, leaving behind a land full of ashes, people did not know what had happened. All they know is that the wave feng shui gate is also gone. Kamui space. Obito has just arrived here, confident that he only needs the next indiscriminate wide-range attack to win. Scold. A flying sword had hovered in front of Obito, and there were hundreds of flying swords suspended in the entire Shinwei space. How is this possible? When did you leave your mark in my Shinwei space? With the flying sword, your so-called double divine power plus the strength of all-round improvement makes you give up the advantage of coming and going freely, and the price is 1 in 10,000 defects. Obito laughed loudly and sat down on the ground. So it's 3 paragraphs, after all, is it the loneliness of the times? No, it's a change of times. The wave feng shui door slammed into smoke, and it turned out that even this was just a shadow avatar. There is no need to worry about his wife's safety, there is no obstruction from the 9 tails. In order to freely turn into a golden flash across space. This time, you didn't care, and I lost the determination to move forward. Obito is threatened by a flying sword, which he can avoid if he wants. It's just that. He was no longer the teenager he was 13 years ago, and he had a lot of worries in his heart. Kakashi was in the village of Qingling Shinobi, and the wave feng shui men family pierced his heart like a sharp sword, making it difficult for him to breathe. Not to mention, according to his guess, Hirano Rin must also be resurrected, but where is it? During this time, the intelligence included information about the resurrection of people in various small villages. There is also no shortage of large villages such as Konoha village and Kirihide village. The answer is, there is no such person as Lin. How could Uchiha Obito believe that the person he loved the most was not resurrected? However, even if the whole world does not know the truth of his resurrection or not, Qingling must also know. Just wait until the return of the spirit shadow, and the answer to everything will be revealed. The teenager is no longer the same as before, and he has some worries in his heart. Obito finally tasted this feeling of being protected and restricted everywhere. I lost. I wanted to live, so I lost the determination to dare to move forward. Obito stood up, and a flying sword fell. Is Fei still alive? The doppelganger of the Bofeng Shui gate dispersed from the Shenwei space, leaving only one sentence. The young man turned around with soil. The sculpture that was consumed by Deidara once again bloomed with a powerful and matchless chakra, and the two eyes instantly turned blue. An orange cyan chakra coat wraps the sculpture. Can I go back to Uchiha Obito? Hoodlum. Of course, just to my liking. Obito couldn't help but laugh and ask himself. Above the square. When the wave feng shui gate appeared, all Susanoo Day's big hands disappeared, and the Kamui space was also closed. Did he win? When was this? Everyone looked at each other, their faces were dazed, as if there were all kinds of small question marks floating on their heads. Swish. Naruto, who appeared like a violent wind, swept a familiar aura as soon as he appeared. This human pillar power that had been familiar with the 9 Lamas for a week and had successfully opened the 9 Lamas immortal mode was still the leading combat power in the village. Coupled with the wave feng shui gate and Zilai also opened a small stove, the Qingling immortal mode plus the Toad immortal mode fused into a new possibility. After the 9 Lama, who had some of the memories of the green spirit and got out of his inner limitations, accepted Naruto, the strength of the two joining forces also increased. However, the chakra breath that surprised everyone this time did not come from Naruto, but the moment he appeared, the divine tree trembled with it. People sensed that a chakra appeared directly in the body, and the chakra seed began to transform again. The divine tree releases a rich natural energy that is enough to easily transform into immortal chakra. Only this time, people can feel stronger before each other. 3 times, at least 3 times more. The people of Qingling Ninja Village looked at each other, obviously not expecting it. They always liked to sleep well, but when they returned from a deep sleep, they gave them more chakra. The more natural energy you can absorb, it's a lot easier to convert. Zilai also analyzed in his heart, he obviously did not expect such an ending. The disappearance of the green spirit is a kind of death in the eyes of many people. After all, no matter how powerful the existence is, it is impossible to survive the resurrection of so many people. These people, including the dried persimmon ghost mackerel, were controlled by the green spirit after that night and transformed their bodies. What's worse, as the heir of Dadamu Kagaya, others don't know his true identity, but Qingling knows everything. Therefore, an eternal imprint was directly engraved in its body, and the time and space ninjutsu and formation were directly signed with all the white Ju, and directly summoned it by consuming absolute chakra. In this way, the entire village has an inexhaustible whiteness. Ju himself became a crucial experimental subject in the Qingling Ninja Village. It is said that in the academy and laboratory, he is affectionately called the Great Teacher. It's a heartwarming ending. The moment chakra was revived, the eyes of every sculpture in the village lit up, and the strong sense of security it brought to everyone's eyes made them all burst into tears. Finally, I can see that hopeful tomorrow. In the land of spirits, the chakra sculptures in every corner are covered with a layer of chakra clothing. In the center of Yuyan village, 3 young people are hiding in this tower, discussing a matter. Looking at it, it turned out to be because there was a middle-aged man wearing a mask in the corner. It is Hanzo, the demigod Yamashi who was destroyed by the ninja god Senju pillar. He lay motionless on the wooden bed, which Nagato controlled in a corner, and could only open his eyes and be tied by bandages. Yahiko, the toxins in his body are very useful, but we have a hard time using them, are you sure you want to keep him? Xiaonan had some doubts that this guy Hanzo was the most hateful enemy in the minds of the 3 of them, and if he could kill, he would have to be cut by 1,000 cuts. No, what we have to do is wait for the resurrection of the spirit shadow. If our resurrection is all about him, and even the changes in this world are related to him, then he must have his own purpose for resurrecting Hanzo, and since we consider ourselves part of the kingdom of spirits, we must obey his arrangement. Yahiko always believed that the green spirit was not dead. According to his understanding of Qingling during this time, this is definitely an ideal existence even more extreme than him, constantly working hard for the world without regrets in his heart, and even making enemies with the world. This is the world that they know, the future that the organization really set out to create when it was founded. Since there are people like Qingling, they can't do it with a more complete plan and ability, so why don't they? This is also the reason why Yuyan village must talk to Lingying in detail, and they must personally inquire about Qingling's plan. Or even at least head to Qingling Ninja Village to get a closer look at the prototype of that dream. The distant future is just around the corner. Woohoo! Hanzo said it, but he couldn't even say a complete sentence. He was indeed a little miserable during this time, first drifting all the way through the land of fire to the land of iron and fighting with Mifune, but he almost lost his life. After being defeated by this subordinate, the more he thought about it, the more wrong it became, and the sleeping will in his heart was gradually revived. I also heard that Yuyan village was occupied by 3 youths, and immediately wanted to kill back, but just halfway through, I encountered Senjukuma who was looking for Uchiha spot. The war between the two was about to break out, and the Hanzo technique of the pepperfish who had just recovered his will was inferior to the god and was directly destroyed. Later, after negotiations between Yuyan village and Konoha, the former village chief was temporarily redeemed. After all, Nagato died once with Rokudao pain, and the new village chief was elected Yahiko, which can be said to be the 3rd term. Swish! The Qingling sculpture that had been placed in their house from the road outside finally shone brightly. This moment, thousands of undercover agents hiding in the spirit realm are all secretly sending intelligence. Their intelligence is only 4 words. Qingling reappeared. Qingling Shinobi Village. After the wave feng shui gate appeared, Naruto also stopped here, giving people inexplicable pressure. While most people are still waiting for a formal interpretation of martial arts, the strong people with strong discernment skills have realized the basics of martial arts. 1. Physique. 2. Chakra. 3. Outbreak. 4. Ultimate control. 5. In line with martial arts. These 5 points mean that under the premise of cultivating martial arts, one can cultivate a more powerful physique, which is enough to withstand the power of chakra's explosion. And the chakra dantian also stores a large amount of chakra, which brings certain possibilities for the cultivation of extreme control. Only in this way can we get at the right moment. While further enhancing your physical potential with martial arts, you can withstand the powerful moves of chakra's explosion. The fusion between each other is a real martial art. For example, the 8-door Dunja, after opening one by one pulse gate, in addition to being able to use powerful physical techniques, it will bring a strong increase in posture and chakra outbreak. How to withstand and maintain a longer chakra burst to achieve the use of various ninjutsu, physical arts, and even illusion arts, so that they can be fused and exert the power of true martial arts, depends on whether you can have all 5 basics. It can be said that if Kai himself has the healing ability between the 1,000-hand pillars, chakra amount, then his 8-door Dunjia will no longer be a desperate stunt, but a perfect martial art under the increase in posture. In the crowd, Uchiha got what he wanted, but he didn't leave. Obviously, as a member of the Uchiha clan, he is still more concerned about the life and death of Uchiha Obito. Hinata Ninja temporarily closed his eyes wide open, digesting the connotation of martial arts with his heart. On the square, Bofeng Shuiman stood up and motioned to Kakashi. Next is the time when our martial arts foundation is revealed, and the person who tells you about it is my disciple. Kiki Kakashi, Uchiha Obito. Quote. What? That Uchiha youth didn't die. People looked at each other in disbelief, and the next moment, hundreds of flying swords flew out of Shinwei space, hovered behind Bofeng Shuiman, and were put away by him with the time-space scroll. Uchiha Obito also appeared. He took off his pineapple-headed mask and showed his true face. At the first moment of his appearance, he lived as Uchiha Obito, and said bluntly, I got a clue about Rin from that rakeage, Watergate-sensei, Kakashi, our 7th class. Kakashi walked past him, his seemingly calm face covered by a smile covered by a mask. 7th shift. What a name, I almost forgot. Bofeng Shuiman recalled the past. It seems that every generation has a 7th class, and if it weren't for the appearance of the Green Spirit, Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura would also be the 7th class. Good. Obito no longer dodged the eyes of the wave feng shui gate, and he could not die until he rescued Rin and created that brand new world. At the very least, let Hirano Rin also see the future without regrets. After that, he will have no regrets. He raised his head and talked to everyone, telling them about their research on martial arts. When people heard the five elements, they suddenly realized, but they also strengthened the speculation in the hearts of Uchiha and others. After the discussion of martial arts, Naruto's martial arts were divided into S rank and A rank, Sasuke's sword and wave feng shui gate, and Obito's time and space martial arts were also included. Unlike ninjutsu and other diversity, martial arts must have three common characteristics. It has a strong increase in physical attributes, must be lethal, and can still permanently increase the body's explosiveness and potential limit afterwards. The first edition of martial arts publications was also sold by everyone. For this martial art that can only be cultivated under martial arts and can only be used by learning immortal arts, people can't wait to have one piece even if they can't understand it. There are even undercover agents from the outside world, trying their best to copy a few copies and secretly send them back. On the roof of a small 6-story building, Han and Lao Zaren's hand copy of the first edition of martial arts was hidden behind him. Lei Ying is good at tempering the body with chakra. Konoha's 3 ninja have the Tsunade of the accumulated chakra. The immortal body imitates the snake-like big snake pill, and the increase in explosive power comes from the 8 gates Dunja. Lao Zi analyzed, indicating his slight disdain. Yes, it's just a hodgepodge, there is nothing remarkable except for that martial will, isn't it able to carry the illusion? What's great? Han also echoed the 2 sentences, but after the two looked at each other, they quickly flashed away, and each began to cultivate. To put it nicely, martial arts claims to be a vein, strong in the ability to fuse various cultivation methods, and eventually bring permanent increase. Even the limitations of lifespan can be cracked. This also means that chakra martial arts itself has infinite possibilities, not to mention that after having the will of martial arts, the stronger the willpower, the more immune to illusion arts, and the more powerful it is in battle. This is also the reason why Lao Zi and Han look down on their lips, but act very honestly. Chakra martial arts is the strongest. The end of the martial arts speech also allowed many people to see the flower in the mirror, the moon in the water. Although it is not true, it can be regarded as having the opportunity to get a first glimpse of the door. With Naruto's arrival, soon Sasuke, Iroh and the others also arrived here. 2 new scrolls appeared in the hands of the duo. The preparatory ninjas and villagers who were about to leave have only come to their senses, and there is one more thing to announce today. Just 10 minutes ago, the teacher gave me a new task. Naruto took out the quest scroll. As well as the cultivation method of martial arts middle ninja, the possibility of promotion to martial arts upper ninja. Sasuke also has a scroll in it that emits a different light. What the? Martial arts shinobi also has its own cultivation methods. The shadows in the crowd changed their gazes one after another, realizing the strangeness of martial arts. These people, whether they are from Qingling Ninja Village, or spies from the outside world, and the strong people with an undercurrent surge. The cultivators are all in the first volume, the 9 articles of the quenching body of martial arts apprentices. The second volume is promoted to martial arts to cultivate, and there are very few possessors. Now the only people who have access to the third volume are Naruto and Sasuke. They couldn't help but suspect that if they could cultivate martial arts by promoting martial arts to lower ninja, it meant that they had really undergone transformation. And the will of martial arts needs to have the strength of martial arts forbearance, which also means that there has been a metamorphosis. They are physical, chakra, and the enhancement of mental power. So what tricks can this third volume have? Isn't it really made up by Qingling? After all, they came from the period after the Green Spirit fell asleep, and they had not come into contact with the previous transformation, let alone seen Sasuke and Naruto, the 2 medium-level battles who had awakened the will of martial arts. They just feel that everything is fooling around. In their opinion, the first and second volumes are the end, and they can't play any tricks when they go up. It's just a repetition. As undercover agents, they have keen judgment. Believe that you can never be wrong. Now, Naruto and Sasuke had each opened a scroll that undercover deemed useless. Practice scrolls. When it was opened, only Naruto, Sasuke saw the real appearance, and couldn't help but look heavy. What they guessed was correct. Martial arts forbearance is just awakening the will of martial arts, and after using martial arts, it is just the existence of entering martial arts. Chakra. Martial Arts, Volume 3 Compulsory Practice. Chapter 1. 9 stars Middle Ninja, the ultimate form of liquid solidification. Chapter 2. Martial Tao, Entry-Level Enlightenment, and Chapter 3. Middle Ninja Martial Arts, Heaven and Earth Xuanwang. Volume 3 also gives the content of 3 chapters. It includes being able to quench spiritual liquid into golden pills, as well as extending from martial will to understanding the essence of martial arts, and fully explaining and upgrading martial arts. After a quick glance, Sasuke couldn't help but be shocked by the unfathomable depth of the green spirit. It seems that the two of them are just a tolerant now. The mission scroll opens, and this time there is only one sentence. Attack from afar. When the enemy attacks, you must not sit still, only attack is the best defense. Thwarting an enemy siege is the simplest requirement, and the fire of war must not be allowed to contaminate the Qingling village. What will happen to the village next? And Qingling made this siege must not touch the atmosphere of the village again, and more importantly, to turn forced defense into attack. After all, it is Qingling, how can he tolerate others on the side of his sleeping bed? Sasuke, Naruto looked at each other, and some kind of determination had been confirmed in his heart. Whoever dares to invade Qingling Ninja Village will have to pay the price of his life. This is the only promised land in the ninja world, and no one will be tolerated to violate it, and anyone who comes will die. Those who seek death will turn into dust and disappear. Everyone looked at their expressions, and the time became cloudy in an instant. Really fake. Looking at the expression, is it true that the third volume is different? Thinking of this, my heart began to beat a drum. I really want to cultivate as soon as possible and obtain that way to become stronger. Kaide stands as a member of the Tailed Beast Hall, and also secretly collects intelligence for Taki Hidden Village. During this time, the content sheet passed back and was left behind by the elders. Everyone in the Qingling Ninja Village has a variety of attributes chakra, and can also cultivate chakra martial Tao, improve the corresponding ability, and constantly temper. If you want to awaken the will of martial arts, you must also master the basic yin-yang escape technique. Words like these made the village elders feel that Kaide had either fallen for illusion or had completely rebelled. He meows. Can't Qingling Ninja Village be so good? It's weird to believe you. There really is such a place. Our Taki Hidden Village immediately surrendered to the enemy like the entire village of Earth Spider. On the contrary, little Hotaru, who is standing with Yugao, has recently gained a lot and has experienced 2 transformations, and because of the existence of the Earth Spider forbidden technique, she went to apply to learn about the Qingling immortal art Qi. Over time, he actually mastered the method of containing the immortal chakra, and now he was able to barely control his forbidden art, and his cultivation speed was several times faster. For this, Kaide also cut off the task of replying to the village. No way, the village no longer trusted her. And a few undercover ninjas sent also began to talk the same nonsense as Kaide, and the village elders thought that they had all fallen for illusion and were delirium. Similarly, these undercover agents keep sending back steam chakra trains, chakra internal combustion engine cars, and chakra electrically powered factories and the like, and are regarded as crazy. Not to mention martial arts ninja tools, chakra pills, and martial arts are considered impossible. Because the ninja world, except for Konoha village, generally believes that if you want to reach the point of using martial arts, it means that you are all full in physical arts, illusions, ninjutsu, physique, chakra, etc., and you are already at the peak of the ninja world. This kind of person doesn't talk about using martial arts, even a random ninjutsu can play bells and whistles. If this is the case, then isn't Qingling Ninja Village comparable to a shadow-level existence in any middle ninja? Or even beat with martial arts? Amusing. Because the falsity of the information is too high, now the village basically no longer believes any news they send, which is purely a sign of gibberish and irrationality. Sadly, most undercover agents still think that they are witnessing the changes of the times. And with encouragement, send these news and intelligence to the village. They carefully confirmed that the third volume was likely to be unusual, so they wrote. The third volume is very likely to contain the secret of changing the ninja world, and it is absolutely necessary to send the elite of the village to Shangnan to further confirm. A day later, when their village got the news, the evaluation was, the whole village has 2 middle ninja, a handful of lower ninja, and change the ninja world, change yourself first. Quote. Within the divine tree. The weasel snorted in pain, and the chakra accumulated in his body continued to erupt, and the quenching to the extreme had extended to the ultimate form, like a transformation of life and death. Uchiha Itachi probably wouldn't have thought that his terminal illness would directly adjust his body to its peak state under the yin-yang escape technique in a large number of chakra. When he opened his eyes with a dry cough, he only felt that every breath became thin, but he was soon able to breathe freely. Immediately afterwards, the increased chakra attribute in his body, as well as the body that no longer had disease, doubled the amount of chakra made him overwhelmed. Really, come to life. A nine-tailed man dressed in blue stood in front of him, his face covered in his robe, and a finger lightly popped out of his forehead. Wake up, ferrets. Outside the divine tree. Uchiha was thrown out by the vine. He had too many questions, too many wonders about how many secrets this fox had. And what are you carrying? What are you going to do? Mr. Itachi, your face is much better. The voice of the dried persimmon ghost mackerel sounded in the ears. Itachi turned away, and the Uchiha clan was behind him. Among them, naturally, there are also Uchiha Obito, Uchiha Stop, Uchiha Sasuke, and Uchiha Izumi. Father, mother are also among them. This is the brand new Uchiha clan, and the Qingling shinobi village never stands in anyone's way. If you want to get stronger, climb. It seems that it will take you a while to adjust to this real world. When Uchiha stopped the water and said this, he also threw a copy of the Martial Arts First Edition that he had just snatched on the scene into the hands of Uchiha Itachi. Yes, this undistorted world. The ferret held the book and breathed the air with great cherishment. He thought, how nice, this gentle world, no distortion, no nausea, only sunlight and breeze. As Qingling said, where there is a shadow. A place that is not illuminated. Let's go together. Itachi thought to himself, this life is too luxurious, even breathing without burden and self-blame. After the divine tree. A figure paused and was about to turn away. He has reached the peak of the 9th layer of the quenching body, and once he quietly breaks through, he can be promoted to martial arts lower endurance, and then go to find the 2nd volume, cultivate the immortal art and absorb chi, and try martial arts. He wants to become stronger, and in this darkness, he will move forward like a shadow. This time, be sure to change everything. But just as he walked out of the shadow under the divine tree, the boy had been waiting for him in the sun for a long time. Brother. Uchiha Senna spoke, and the 2 words made Uchiha Spot fall in one step. He did not expect that he would also have a day of rebirth. Because he didn't know how to face him at this moment. This will turn all hatred and anger into a rainstorm, falling in nothing. Before and after the sacred tree. The Uchiha clan are in the shadows, their hearts turned to the light. Uchiha stepped into the sun, carrying the darkness on his back. He is hate, he is power. He is a legend, he is a pinnacle. He turns behind the scenes, he turns into sins. Along the way, he had his first best friend, he had a beloved brother, and he also had a dear friend who knew and cherished each other. He had believed that a better future would come, and he had believed the words of his best friends that the war would end. For this he can put aside his own ideas, he can go together to build a village, he can make those famous foxes fake tiger power. He once dominated an era, he was arrogant, he once overwhelmed an era, but his best friends were invincible. If it weren't for the death of the younger brother in front of him, if the village had not been established, the war would still be constant, and all kinds of intrigues and tricks would still be there. Without his best friend's brother's suppression of the Uchiha clan, without the resentful look in people's eyes. Oh, yes. Even if it's a little less, a little less. Today's Uchiha is not an existence that has changed the mood of all those who lived through that era. But all this has already happened, and after all, they parted ways. The stone tablet that was never changed, the forged past really confused Uchiha and made him completely wrong in his life. But, in this way, can the life experienced before the Valley of the End be regarded as having never existed? The strength of their Uchiha clan is indeed united with hatred, pain, and continuous abandonment. Who is it, to fill this world with hatred? What is a human being? Is it the power of fruit, or the glory and wealth, or the wandering of the world, the supreme throne of status and power, or the fetters that refuse to let go? At this moment, Uchiha Senna, who was standing in front of Uchiha Madara, was a stone and fell. It made the pain in Uchiha's heart less, but it was only that. Everything after the death of Uchiha Senna was unforgettable and remembered in his mind. Brother, I got the truth from Ju, Lingyiang fruit, this is not a conspiracy, that stone monument is actually. Uchiha gave him a hug and patted him lightly on the back. Silly child, is there any point in being right or wrong? What we went through continues today, whether you were resurrected or told me false history. Those sins, those hatreds, all those pains and wars, and the bond between me and the guy between me and the thousand hands pillar. If I just drop everything like that, do you think, then I'm still Uchiha? Quote. Brother. Uchiha Senna originally thought that when he was resurrected, learned the later story, and got all the truth, Uchiha Madara could also welcome the world. Indeed, it is. Uchiha is always Uchiha Madara forever. How could he change himself so easily? Uchiha Madara. Obito opened his hands and blocked the man who had regained his youthful appearance, and although he had changed his appearance, Obito still sensed the familiar breath. Even if they lied to him for so many years, they got along with each other for several years, and it was true that they saved his life. Obito, you are not me, can you let go of the hatred? You have the news of that girl, right? I can't, even if my brother is resurrected, I will do what I had to do back then. How? Knowing the truth of everything, what do you want to say to me, the head of the Uchiha clan? Don't talk about fighting, if you don't think about dancing either. Quote. Uchiha rubbed shoulders with Obito, he learned the truth, and his brother was resurrected. But so what? The thousand-hand pillar is not a wave feng shui gate. He is not even Uchiha Obito. It is a fact that a man has died, and what he has done in 1,000 hands is unforgivable to him. The thousand hands pillar did not fulfill their promise, let alone let that beautiful era come, and to this day, there have been 3 great ninja wars. After his death, the Uchiha clan withered to the point of almost annihilation. Say what is right or wrong. What do you take? When everything is repaid, and there is a debt, I will also find a place to have a cup of tea, and before that, Mo will use your set to comfort me. Uchiha quietly disappeared into Qingling Shinobi village. What he wants to do is no longer under one person, but to subvert the world. Only when the entire ninja world falls into the hands can the war be eliminated permanently. However, since he knew the truth and understood that it was Dadamu Kagaya who resurrected the demon again, he would never let that happen. For this, he was still very grateful to Qingling, but it was only that. You are more dangerous than me, after all, you are in Ming. Uchiha walked out of a small courtyard, but he had already changed into new clothes and changed his appearance successfully. The eyes of the small chakra sculpture lit up, which was regarded as a response to him. Night solstice. The bright moon is shining. The Aoran village was particularly lively tonight, and the news about Uchiha's possible resurrection was only slightly passed on before it was replaced by a happier news. Their first Meijing Sama has been resurrected. Tonight's bonfire party will personally announce a big event. In the lively village, a street lamp banishes the night. They were all waiting on the streets for the Qingling to appear. Not often. The green spirits gathered by the orange cyan chakra finally appeared on the square. As soon as they saw that it was really their spirit shadow, people immediately cheered, and even a new arrival ran desperately towards the side of the road, trying to get a clear glimpse of him. Is this the spirit shadow? It's amazing, it's really chakra gathered. Of course, as long as Lord Lingyiang is in one day, no one will dare to hit our village's idea. The little ones ran out of the crowd with a huge sticker in their hands and slowly unfolded it. People are panicked, even if they worship and awe again, but this is also a day to celebrate the return of Lord Ling, and the children are blocking the way, will they be blamed? The girl's big bright eyes flashed, and she opened the sticker drawing on this scroll without fear at all. Qingling looked down, and the huge chakra eyes emitted 3 kinds of light: blue, purple, and gold. After a while, the corners of his mouth rose, and he laughed loudly. Is this what you painted? How cute. Quote. We hope that one day, Raikage-sama can become a human just like us and go to the Ninja Academy to learn and play together. Quote. The picture is drawn by the children of the Ninja Academy. Qingling became a big brother inside, standing among the children laughing and very happy. The adults were still panicked when they heard this, and quickly picked up the child, but they didn't expect that the things they were worried about still appeared. Lord Raiying, the children are not sensible and can't speak, please forgive me. In their opinion, Spirit Shadow is a well-known tailed beast, and it is a nine-tailed beast, then he must not like to be said by others. You guys are really stupid, don't you know that Lord Raiying is busy? Still playing with you. Quote. Scolding children is also to protect them, and in the eyes of many parents, this seems to be a way to protect their children. Hearing such a serious tone, the children's eyes turned red. I felt that I must have provoked Qingling. Tailed beast, human. When you reach a certain point, you will finally understand that chakra can transform into everything, whether it is a tailed beast or a human race, it can be changed through the transformation of chakra's form. Only, what do we need to do before that? Of course, to become strong enough. Don't be afraid of me, I still need your help when I am in danger, my villagers. Quote. What? Hokage-sama also needs them. People felt that their eyes were a little red for a while, and tears were rolling down. Don't be afraid of me, kids. When I leave, you will become me. He said gently to the children. The banquet begins. A little spark flew out of the campfire. When I looked again, I had flown to the sky. The sky is full of stars. Pave billions of galaxy rivers. This night, after the banquet, rain. The height of summer is fading. It was time for heaven to extinguish its flames. The people who stay in the house have their own hearts. The child is in a sweet dream, looking forward to tomorrow. Adults, however, know that a war that is about to go down in history is about to begin. While they were in the spirit world, the green spirit exhausted chakra and died, and the village fell into the two camps of Sasuke and Naruto, and then they merged one after another, and the great battles finally consumed an era. The name of the spirit kingdom, like other small kingdoms, eventually disappeared into history. This ending is not destined to be what they want. That real-life dream made everyone realize in their hearts the importance of Qingling Ninja Village. Leaving here, they never had a real home again. In the alley. Every house has an electric light that has not been extinguished. There is a wife who draves a blanket for her husband, but the latter sighs worriedly. He is just a farmer from the land of winds, and he does not understand what kind of war. It didn't take long to practice the chakra martial Tao, and he lived with the strength of the commander and the agricultural knowledge taught in the village. The village says that everyone has their own merit after working. When you get sick, you can get free treatment, and the village is responsible for disability and aging. Children can also choose to learn what they like. It doesn't matter if you like to live in isolation, you need to get a certain amount of materials, then you can come to the village every month to exchange, you can hand over a part of the fruit, livestock, clothes, and art created by living alone. All can be exchanged for giving to the village. He kept these firmly in mind. The man took out a small book, on which was his crooked handwriting. Not long after learning to write, he would not write anything, just barely living and using. But on it, it is full of various major events in the village. He did his best to write with a less skilled pen. There may be a war in the future. I don't want the doll to go without a ninja academy. My wife is also worried, and she has been losing sleep recently. Today, when Lord Hokage returns, we see hope, but what happened in the dream is too real. I don't think our concerns are superfluous. Quote. Inside the house. The child was holding a puppet doll in her arms, a nine-tailed fox dressed in blue clothes, and two green jewel-like eyes, which her mother brought at the banquet stall. It was made by an aunt who was good at making puppets, and it was cute. Around the corner of the alley. Another man with a thin stature was walking around the house. His wife, apparently a straightforward person, thought about it and whispered to every household in the village. Not often. The man draped a raincoat on his wife. Figures gathered on this pouring night, and they appeared in a large shed, sheltered from the wind and rain. The lights were turned on and everyone had a smile on their faces. Listen to me, everyone, Hokage-sama is really alive, but my plan to protect the village cannot be stopped. The village does have a reserve ninja for battle, and there is a defensive guard department. But this is our village. The village we built together. Quote. This meeting has been going on for several days, and since they woke up and the Qingling has not returned, people have begun to secretly practice ninjutsu and martial arts at night. Working during the day, I can only find a little time to practice at night. Outside the shed. One by one, the figures quickly walked by, as if to confirm the safety of the villagers here. Dressed in raincoats, they patrolled heavily guarded, passing through streets and alleys. Go to make a way for the girl who works the night shift, and go to take care of the lights of all houses. Every time they would meet under the divine tree and change to the next shift to start. Such days have long become a habit, and no matter which village the ninjas come from, no matter how much they fight with each other, they will still dutifully guard this place. The Uchiha clan gathered in the shed inside their clan, and when they heard the guards outside walking by, their hearts were much calmer. It seems that the days of the caution of the Uchiha clan in Konoha village are long gone. The current patriarch, Uchiha Fugaku, is expounding his plan. There is currently only one martial arts shinobi in our clan, Sasuke, everyone else is just preparing ninjas, and the children still have to study at the ninja academy, so don't involve them. I received the latest news that the second 5-Kage conference of the 5 great shinobi villages was held under the communication between the Senju and the first generation of Hokage. What they have to decide is whether to strike together. This information has been reported by Sasuke, don't slack. Quote. Under the lights. Their red pupils were full of power, and the guardianship was not something engraved in the bloodline of the Uchiha clan. In the dark room, undercover agents from other villages are inscribed with the latest information. The information they send back is increasingly unrecognized. Tonight will be the same as ever. In a small building on the east side, more than a dozen families live here, and since the installation of the elevator, life seems to be really convenient. In order not to attract anyone's attention, Kojiro Kwashita from Kirihide village is writing and crumbling the information again and again. Eventually he stood up and turned on the light. Sit firmly in your chair. This time he wrote no longer intelligence, but a family letter. Mother, I have been doing well in the land of spirits, it has been nearly half a month, and presumably the news of the return of the spirit shadow has reached the land of water. My father is sick, my bounty for completing the mission has not been enough to cure it, you are also in need of care in old age, and the people I admire are very popular in the village. Disease, aging, my uncertain future, the couple I seek, and a courtyard, I don't know if there is enough else to get. I don't know what I'm talking about, mother. I was worried that the blood mist age would appear again in the village, and I was worried that the life I had now would pass away. The myth says that human beings originated from the 6 Tao immortals, and I think that such a war may eventually have an end. I'm lost, mother. Please tell me if there is also the sound of raindrops falling in my heart. Quote. Rainy night. There are also many people from other villages who are working hard to write books. I don't know how many people have changed the information to family letters, and I don't know how many people are struggling inside. The rain is getting bigger and bigger, and it seems to sweep the whole world. Do you want to wash away the sins of all, or do you want to turn them into an unprecedented flood? Nobody knows. Maybe it's heaven. I want to make the world a rainy village. Under the divine tree. Sasuke was immersed in the sound of rain, as if every drop had fallen into the bottom of his heart. Naruto leaned his back against the tree, indifferent to the cold wind blowing on his face. The teacher said that this time the same sword can fulfill both of our wishes, have you thought about it? Well, but you'll be struck by lightning against the tree. Sasuke stood up and walked towards the underground chamber. Che, my thunder attribute chakra is stronger than you. How could Ray chop me to death? Is it? My wind attribute chakra is also stronger than yours. The two fought each other, and neither of them would admit defeat. And in the underground chamber. But 3 young figures took advantage of the rainy night and came to the village for a long time. Yahiko stood in the middle of Nagato and Konan, looking incredulously at the 3 scrolls in front of him. It is the 3 major encyclopedias of ninjutsu, physical arts, and illusion that Qingling learned from the doppelganger of the doppelganger. What are you doing here late at night for? If it is chakra martial Dao, then Yuyan village will truly become a member of the spirit country, and the 3 of you will join forces to manage there. And follow the arrangements of the village. If it is only nominally part of the spirit realm to seek refuge or security, then any of the 3 scrolls can be selected to leave here. If one day the war ends and our village is scattered like the Uzumaki clan, please don't let these ninjutsu be lost. Quote. Qingling has never liked to force others. These 3 people in Yuyan village are the last and original members of the Shao organization, and they are also the actual controllers of Yuyan village now. sneaked into the village at the beginning of today's banquet. When everything was over, he was under the guard of Sasuke and Naruto and got the permission of the Green Spirit. Yahiko believes that if he wants to cooperate with the Green Spirit Shinobi village, if it is friendly, he may be able to build the spirit country together. Nagato believes that they only need to be tacitly declared, they no longer reject the spiritual kingdom, but they are not willing to get involved too much, because the heart instinctively does not want to trust anyone. Xiaonan stood between the two and chose to be neutral for the time being. Emotionally, she supports Yahiko's ideals, but these years of experience have made her recognize Nagato. War. Only true power can deter the entire ninja world. Spirit Shadow, you are willing to be powerful and inexhaustible, your chakra is inexhaustible. Why not use the power of nuclear and make the world tremble before your eyes, then there will be permanent peace. Nagato didn't care about these 3 scrolls, he just wanted to get the help of the Green Spirit to use his own way to still eliminate the war. Is that okay? Qingling's sculpture turned into a small fox, wearing a blue coat and shuttling through the corner of the underground secret room. You are really naive, Nagato, such a world will only be a dream bubble, how can you be sure that our descendants will not change their original intentions? Qingling scratched the hair on his neck with his paws. There is a spiritual kingdom in this world, and that is a hope. The kingdom of spirits makes the world fearful, and that is a threat. But if there is only the kingdom of spirits in the world, then everything can be ended. Quote. What? When Qingling said this, even Nagato was taken aback. He obviously didn't expect that Qingling's past and character would do this. Because according to intelligence, Qingling is a shadow who does not like force, and relative mildness is the real him. You only have war in your eyes, it turns out that we still mistook you, and in the end, it is no different from those disgusting guys. Yahiko spoke before Nagato, his gaze ranging from hope to disgust to anger at the moment, as if he hadn't changed his heart from the beginning. If we want to continue our original plan and start a war to destroy the world, do we still need to come to you? Xiaonan also chose to stand on new possibilities. The 3 of them completely disapprove of Qingling's ambitions, believing that he is no different from Uchiha. War is cruel, you used to treat it as a child's play, and now you have not come to your senses. I want to make the kingdom of spirits the whole world, and why do I need war? All you need is hope. Quote. Qingling knows that these 3 little fools will not covet any ninjutsu. They are looking for an opportunity. To put it bluntly, I hope that Qingling can directly give them a new answer. The scenes in the village made them see hope, even the major-tailed orc pillar power, the people of the 3 major ninja villages could live here. In the eyes of the 3, Qingling's will must be some kind of will that is enough to create miracles. They believe that the distant future and hope are shattered at this moment. Qingling is not the existence they imagined. Instead of answering, it's even crazier. Okay, stand aside, you 3 naive guys, my dear disciple is here. How can the real spirit plan be directly informed in front of you? Qingling said, a little paw, and a 3-dimensional projection immediately appeared in the underground secret room. It seems that it is actually the appearance of a divine tree. The projection continues to extend, and its root veins actually go in all directions underground, sweeping the world in all directions. The 3 of Yahiko, who were just about to leave in anger, couldn't help but stop and watch. Only Nagato could see the structure of this divine tree at a glance, and it was actually similar to the outer path golem. It's just that this divine tree is constantly supplied to chakra by the Green Spirit, and constantly consumes his chakra, spreading its root veins to the world. Looking at its context, not only the Green Spirit Ninja Village, but now most of the places in the Spirit Country actually have divine trees. It's just that it's still growing, and it should be emitting the same natural energy. What is the purpose of Qingling? Nagato even noticed that under Yuyan village, there was a huge vein, waiting for the moment to erupt. Once successful, it is another divine tree. Do you see his purpose? Yahiko saw something unusual in Nagato's expression. It seems that what Qingling really wants to do will start from the spirit country, especially Yuyan village. They wanted to leave angrily, but stayed with curiosity. As the stone door opens, Naruto and Sasuke walked into the underground chamber and saw this divine tree vein projection at a glance. Teacher, I've figured out what I'm going to do. Naruto Uzumaki said his wishes while looking at the divine tree vein map. Sasuke watched silently from the sidelines, and he noticed that the three of Yahiko were shocked by this picture. The first thing the root vein needs to touch the ground should be Yuyin village, which should be related to Qingling's plan. It will take a while to get to the other shinobi villages, but trends are also clearly visible. Teacher, isn't the day when the divine tree wrapped the whole world soon? Sasuke, who had wanted to ask a question, was snapped up by Naruto. Shouldn't you say your wishes first? Qingling deliberately diverted the topic, which made Nagato, Yahiko, and Konanmi look even more anxious. They don't want anything to happen to the village. What if the divine tree branched out in them and took direct control of the village? Teacher Qingling, will Yuyin village become the next place to shelter? In this way, the spirit kingdom will truly establish a complete defense system, and it will be easier to deal with the next attack. Sasuke's rush to answer this time made Naruto very angry. HMPH, I saw it before you saw it. Naruto said unconvinced. However, the gambling between the two of them meant a lot of information in the eyes of the three of Yahiko. War. The five shadows want to join forces again, and their intelligence has also been obtained on this matter, but the country of spirit is not small. No matter how strong Qingling Ninja Village is, can it still withdraw to protect Yuyin Village? Is it rare that this divine tree has other functions? Well, you guessed right, chakra sculptures, technology, martial arts ninja tools, chakra pills, and puppets will all be part of our combat power in the face of the enemy. Before that, we also need to form a divine tree array, which can cooperate with the divine eye, and point where to fight. Offense is the best defense. Qingling opened his third eye. Sasuke, Nagato, and Naruto in the room all felt a trace of incredible power. This strange vertical pupil made them instinctively flood with an answer in their hearts. The Eye of God. In this great battle, you must fully maintain the eyes and nodes of the great array, and I will open the defensive array that protects the entire spirit country. If one person maintains a large array, then turning defense into attack means. Qingling wants to attract all the firepower alone. Let Naruto, Sasuke attack them and take down the other shinobi villages. In case of failure, the green spirit will definitely die, even if it succeeds, maintaining the territory of the spirit country. Such a large defensive array, it will have to block the attack of so many shadow-level existences. The amount of chakra consumed will be unimaginable, and they can completely adopt the tactics of the sea of people, the tactics of wheels. Until the whole world exhausts his fox chakra, until he dies. When understood, not only Naruto, Sasuke, even Yahiko, Nagato, and Konan felt guilty for their rashness just now. Great. Standing in front of them, it is clear that they are gods walking on earth. Really? It has to be Qingling. Teacher Qingling, you can't sacrifice yourself anymore. Sasuke stood in front of the blue spirit, he must not let the Uchiha clan fall into despair again. Teacher, the 9 lamas have already told me everything you have experienced, this time, please stand behind us and live. Naruto was just as unlikely to allow such a tragedy to happen again. See such a scene. Even Yahiko and Nagato were shocked. It turned out that Qingling was such a fox. His heart has long been noble enough to transcend the realm of human beings. The hateful thing is that they also misunderstood Qingling before, and now they feel extremely guilty when they think about it. Qingling, I don't know what you're going to do, but every time you put yourself in danger, I can come back from the dead like you, but the pain of death is unimaginable. With each resurrection, it is as unknowable whether it still has the plan it once had. To be honest, compared to the tailed beast, even the 10 tails have nothing to do with you. You are more like the old man of the 6 Tao, and every time you rise, every appearance looks like him. I was thinking, maybe one day when your life comes to this day, maybe you will also end your life like the 6 old men, you could have lived forever, but chose life and death. But if you can, why not go further back and see the world? The voice of the 9 lamas appeared in Naruto's body, and he had seen the memories that the green spirit had screened, and naturally understood what kind of burden he was enduring. The 9 lamas also knew that in terms of strength, chakra, and bloodline, Qingling was originally a 6-path immortal level existence, and it was a chakra with as many chakras as Datamukegaya. Still, he has limits and ends. If he bears the wrath of the entire ninja world, according to his character, he will definitely continue to defend until he dies after exhausting his chakra. Whether it was the 9 lamas or the Shuhei, they had all lost the 6 Tao immortals once. I finally met Qingling. How can I watch him die with my own eyes again? At least stay in this world for a while longer. This is the long-cherished wish of the 9 lamas and the other tailed beasts. Father. The Yagi great serpent in Sasuke's body spoke. I saw a layer of chakra coat appear on its body surface, which turned out to be a purple chakra. 8 heads and 8 tails, saliva can corrode the earth, venom is enough to destroy a domain, chakra is like a sea, and at the same time can release 8-tailed beast jade. It is enough to devour everything, and it is innately able to quickly convert natural energy into chakra. Qingling's own son. Yagi Great Snake. Please don't sacrifice yourself, we can't lose you again. The villagers, the tailed beasts, and those tailed beasts all need your presence. Quote. The great serpent of Yagi originated from the divine tree, and regardless of the past, he was born with the utmost kindness. Just as the 9 great tailed beasts regarded the 6 Tao immortals as their father. Therefore, for him, Qingling is the father of the great snake of Yagi. When he was born, the green spirit was asleep. That fear, and the worry on the faces of the villagers, still rings in his childhood mind. What's more, the 9 lamas, Yagi Great Snake and Naruto, Sasuke had one heart, and could sense the worry in each other's hearts. Now, everyone's anxiety waited for Qingling to change his mind. Instead, he turned his head to look at the 3 people in Yuyan village. The 3 of you, each of them is fine, our Qingling ninja village is such a style. We don't like to drag others into the water, your Yuyan village will live in the name of our spirit country. However, that divine tree will also appear, because since you want to live in my kingdom, you must not encounter any attacks. Quote. What? Nagato's eyes widened in disbelief, and even then he had to shelter to the end. Yahiko's heart trembled, he knew that this answer was already in front of him. Brother Qingling. The 9 lamas were incredulous. Father. Yagi Snake refused this answer. Teacher. Naruto would rather die himself than step on the corpse of the green spirit to face the future world. Teacher Qingling. Even if Sasuke stepped on the peak and conquered the ninja world, he would never step on the corpse of the green spirit. Do not persuade, princes, and listen to the long wind hissing. Do you think I will surely die? I am Qingling, not afraid of death. Quote. Yes. Qingling is not afraid of death. However, this was not the task Naruto Sasuke wanted. They thought that turning defense into attack meant defeating the opponent and fighting back. Unexpectedly, it meant that the green spirit consumed everyone on the other side, and Naruto and Sasuke swept the remaining ninja world. Let this world be peaceful and realize the world of the spirit kingdom. So it is. Sasuke muttered, then shook his head and looked at Qingling with a serious expression. All teachers. Your magic spirit realm originally refers to the world of the spirit country. From the beginning, you just wanted to make the fantasy a reality. That's what really happens. Spirit world. Quote. Nani. After Naruto heard Sasuke's words, even his pupils condensed, and he couldn't help but look at Qingling. Spirituality. The illusion that already has a reputation in the ninja world, is called no solution, and can make many people at the same time, so that there is still this meaning. Nagato and Konan, speechless, were Yahiko, because he had seen the branches of the spirit country when he had just been resurrected, and had gone to understand this illusion. Now, when they knew the real reason, they understood what Qingling meant by turning the world into a spiritual country, and where there was guilt in their hearts, it was clearly guilt. Pattern. The real big picture. Go, Yahiko, Nagato, Konan. Zillai is still waiting for you in the rain, and there are many people waiting for you in this rain. Go and find the dawn that belongs to you. The green spirit stopped talking and gradually dispersed. He didn't want to explain, just let Naruto and Sasuke feel at ease. Because he is now very sleepy and need to take a nap. As for the matter of exhausting chakra, it was really good, and I couldn't wait to immediately attack the spirit country with the entire ninja realm. Let this unprecedented defensive array exhaust all his chakras. Qingling has calculated, even if the previous generations of strong people make a move, it will take half a month for him to completely exhaust chakra. This also requires him to desperately convert into natural energy every day, as well as drive various industries throughout the spirit realm, including but not limited to trains, power plants, internal combustion engines, etc. As well as making the natural energy of the spirit country 10 times richer, so that more people can feel that they can better cultivate the green spirit immortal art. After a while, it is estimated that a large number of people will be promoted to martial arts shinobi. Chakra pills, martial arts ninja tools will also promote the development of puppet arts, immortal arts, and martial arts. In this way, the chakra consumption rate will also increase further. But even if this is the case, it also takes half a month for the ninja masters of all eras to exhaust his chakra. It's so hard. You must know that since then, the atmosphere that consumed chakra has increased from Qingling Ninja Village to the entire spirit country, and it is necessary to maintain 2 large divine trees and more than 10 small divine trees. The formation expanded from a reincarnation innate array in the underground world and a large and small chakra of the Green Spirit Ninja Village to a defense and offensive array that wrapped the entire spirit country. As well as supplying the entire spirit country, the consumption rate has increased by more than 10 times. Yes. Qingling had to sigh that it was really getting harder and harder to use the infinite resurrection system for himself. Underground chamber. The departure of the green spirit was seen by Naruto, Sasuke, as a tiredness in preparing for a new larger array. The two of them clenched their fists and their tailed beasts, secretly swearing together. Tragedy must not be allowed to happen again, because no one can guarantee that every time you fall into this situation on the verge of slumber, you will be resurrected unharmed. Teacher, we will definitely protect you. Let you understand that we are enough to be alone. Outside the divine tree. When the 3 of Yahiko walked out of the secret room. One after another figures have been waiting for them in the rain for a long time. These people are standing in pairs. Get out of here, and you will be nothing more than puppets of the nations. The scorpion stood in the rain holding an umbrella, and it wasn't long before he began to transform again, but this time it was just a combination of martial arts ninja tools and chakra pills to create a new core, which was mounted on his arm and used as a mechanical puppet arm. With the addition of 4 scrolls, and the increase expanded, it expanded to thousands of puppets. The scorpion has reached a point where most people dare not match, as the hall master of the puppet hall. When he saw Nagato again, he no longer hid it in his heart. If you leave here, will you become a new puppet? Nagato knew the meaning of this sentence, not that the scorpion was going to attack him, but that he wanted to return to the days as before, seemingly full of blood, but in fact used as a gun by others. Don't you need an art mentor? If you stay, I believe that Lingying teacher will definitely make your artist's temperament deeper, but I hate rain. Deidara firmly believes that his explosion hall is the strongest in the future, but the village seems to prevent him from building it. He didn't come to see Nagato, but more to find Qingling and get permission to build an explosion. Walk through the group of timeless and momentary artists of Scorpion and Deidara. Obito and flying sections have been stopped for a long time. Kakato died, and as a source of nutrition, parasitized today's Yagi Great Snake. It is a tool man who provides a near infinite number of guinea pig experimental subjects. The 2 of them would naturally stand here, waiting for the arrival of the 3 of Nagato. I'm going to build a temple for the green spirit god. The flying segment did not persuade anything at all. He has a huge scythe on his back, but a doll pinned to his waist, which looks similar to the children's Qingling doll. The mind is full of building temples, so that the whole village, oh no, let the country of spirits, and the world worship the green spirits. Once again, the whisper of the evil god sounded in his ears. Fei Duan listened impatiently, and directly scolded himself. You are also worthy of being called an evil god. Compared to the Qingling great god, what kind of trash are you? Obito on the side did not care about all this. To this day, he has been through too much. Impersonate Uchiha and create the blood mist age, become the real leader of the Shao organization standing behind Nagato, and make the dry persimmon Oni mackerel believe in his identity. Everything is for unlimited monthly reading. Until he was in the Shenwei space, when the Qingling was resurrected for the first time, he obtained information about Rin. The moment he lost in the wave Feng Shuaman, Obito understood that he had already lost. Because he had some concerns, he had hope. It's been so long, you've almost been obsessed. The next time we meet, it may be the Ninja World War. You know what I'm talking about. Obito didn't use phase tone because he was no longer wearing a mask. Nagato laughed miserably and put a hand on Yahiko's arm. Yes. The next time is the Ninja World War, but not the war they each planned, but another stage that belongs to the Qingling show. The two did not let go of their previous suspicions, they just went their own way, occasionally overlapping. Walk through the expressionless Obito and crazy flying segments. Standing in front of him is the Uchiha ferret wearing a cloak, and the dried persimmon Anako. Long time no see, ferrets. Nagato knew that the person in front of him was undercover, but so what? As a kaleidoscope of chakra eyes and reincarnation eyes, it is destined to be a seizure of power. It's raining too much. Itachi's high collar hid his will, and this sentence made Nagato's heart tremble. Yes, this rain shows no sign of stopping. Too much rain, bloody fog, will make people get lost, you can't go back, Nagato. There was sympathy in the eyes of the dried persimmon ghost mackerel. When he left the spirit world, he knew that the infinite moon reading was not the perfect world he really wanted. Nagato was silent for a moment. Ghost mackerel, there is a secret that he would never tell you, but I will tell you. The spirit realm, the world he needs to create. Quote. Nagato doesn't know what kind of future Obito told the dried persimmon Oni mackerel. Because Nagato and Obito have always been different roads. To this day, none of them understand anyone, at most they go their separate ways. I have long known that if you did not go to the world called spirit, you will not understand that everything in this village is the future I want to create. The dried persimmon Oni smiled, and from the beginning he woke up and told Itachi that the infinite moon reading might not be the future he wanted. The true spirit world was realized by him. So you already knew. Nagato was not weak, and his body had improved many times after he was reborn. It's just that the mental state that has been in place for many years has not been changed in a short period of time. Out of range covered by the divine tree. Orochimaru and Jiraiya stood there waiting. For Orochimaru, a former teammate who gave up halfway, Nagato or Xiaonan, he didn't have any good feelings. Hiss, your expression tells me again, after this step, you will go back to the fox again, and to this day, no one can refuse his request. The big snake pill directly spit out a flying sword as he spoke, and his neck extended to the window of a human house. Jiraiya-sensei. Nagato looked at Jiraiya stunned. Face Jiraiya again, when the guilt in my heart has witnessed my own death, and a new miracle. His heart has long changed. In the face of this Jiraiya, who had taught them and placed high hopes on them to change the world, he was drumming nervously in his heart. If it's that guy, he will definitely say, listen to your inner decision. Zilai also folded his arms and looked at the three disciples who had lost themselves. Jiraiya-sensei, we were expelled. Yahiko's eyes were lost, he knew that when facing Jiraiya, even Nagato did not really have the courage to face him face to face. In this case, it is still up to him to answer. I just experienced life and death and witnessed the shattering of my dreams. When he woke up, he learned of his best friend's failure. He was also more confused than ever. Before meeting Qingling and really finding the answer, he had been confused. At this moment, the heart is trembling. Expulsion, he probably doesn't want to drag you down. I also know that Qingling is an existence who is not willing to drag anyone down, no matter what kind of danger, he is willing to carry it alone. Ah, so tired. It hurts, I feel the pain of this world. Yahiko had a headache, and this journey of resurrection that spanned the years made him understand what it means to be unattainable. It's raining so much here that we really can't go back. Nagato shook his head uncontrollably. Xiaonan stood hesitant between the two. Suddenly, Yahiko resolutely turned around and ran towards the divine tree. There were footsteps behind him. Nagato, Conan, followed as it did back then. Across time and space. This time it is by no means the trap of Hanzo of the pepperfish, but the light that is indomitable. That light, brilliant and dazzling, was enough to remove the reign of the Qingling ninja village, the reign of the Yuyan village, and even the torrential reign of the entire ninja realm. Right now, they will walk side by side with him to endure all the sufferings of this world. Until the door. Naruto and Sasuke stood there expressionless, blocking the bodies of the three. A voice quietly appeared. From the underground secret room to the divine tree, and then to the entire Qingling ninja village, it resounded in the spirit country. For this, he deliberately consumed a large amount of chakra. Don't feel sorry for me, crying and laughing, tears and joy are your luck. I will never have mercy on anyone, let alone your mercy. Where the light doesn't shine, let's go together. Quote. This time, the same words came out of Qingling's mouth personally. It is the light in everyone's heart. One by one, the chakra seeds broke through the cocoon at this moment, turning into the slap-sized Xingyi Nine Tails. Once again, he abandoned chakra for people. He sees the whole world and ignores only himself. That's what people think. The three of Yahiko secretly vowed to defend their dreams and protect the green spirit in this life. Thanks for watching, please subscribe and support our channel.